nothing back again. We've seen our scars burn red and seen them turn to flame. We are the fire that guides our destiny. Yeah, they try to finish us. We fight until the last. Hear the awakened world scream glory and scream courage. For here we stand in the path of victory. We made it to fires, to redemption on the other side. We're standing and we're burning bright. Alright, 'cause we are timeless. Our future knows not your pain. Our past knows only victory. So we still remain. How many came to fight and die here? How many legions overcome? How many scars are left behind us? But there will be no rises. There's always light within us. Hear the awakened world scream glory and scream courage. For here we stand forever from this day. We made it through fires, to redemption on the other side. We're standing and we're burning bright. Alright, 'cause we are timeless. Our future knows not your pain. Our past knows only victory. So we still remain. We'll keep rising. And we still remain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Blue Otter League Diamond Division. I'm your play-by-play caster tonight, Becky Rita, and joining me on the cast is Isaac.
Hello, welcome. Thank you.
Temporary Isaac. I guess I didn't clear with you what you want me to
No,
call you.
it's all right. Either way, it's one of those. It's one of those things where it's like I don't even know which one it is at this point online. It's been such an amalgamation of years like piled together that there's like 7 different aliases along the line, and honestly, I don't really mind whichever one's used.
Hey, all right, it works for me. What I know is no matter who we are, we're watching some League of Legends tonight between some high-quality Diamond Division teams. On the blue side for Game 1, we have We Love Solbert Mish Mash Edition. What a team
Say that
name.
10 times. Say that 10 times fast.
I might just call them either Mishmash or Solbert. I don't know.
We probably don't want to do that because Solbert's actually their ADC. So.
Oh, that's true. I guess we love Solbert. The ADC. And then on the other side of the rift, we have To the Moon Tethys. So, To the Moon, it established org here. I didn't play in week 1. They have yet to schedule. That match had to be rescheduled, so they haven't quite played yet. Although We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition did play their week 1 match. Ended up being a 3-game series where they did lose in the end, but hey, they still managed to pick up a game, and it was looked like a rather competitive series, at least from some of the numbers I looked at. And before we get into draft here, anything that's... Oh, actually, never mind. We go.
As we get into draft, I'm going to see what sticks out to me. Well, a few things that sticks out to me is that from We Love Solbert, they are definitely willing to flex Ashe between support and ADC. So one thing that I've noticed about their draft so far is that they don't fully like picking the bot lane all at once. Sometimes, especially when Ashe is involved, to kind of hide what they're going with there. Especially if they want to get a few picks that under their way, like for example, Asol's a pretty common one. Karma is one that's played a lot by Earl King, and one that I suspect will be fairly contested between him and Karma Warrior as we get underway. A few of these bans might seem a bit strange in terms of the meta, but actually overall, in terms of comfort of these players we have in these roles, this does make sense. Solbert being a fairly big fan of the Kog'Maw, as you could probably tell by their logo.
Wow, really? Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. Unbelievable. Could you tell?
it's like when you are like a one trick and you name yourself after that character, and then you go play into a league. Of course, you're getting that champion band.
Oh yeah. That was me when my League of Legends username was Sun Praising, and I played only Leona. And
you just paint a target on your face.
Yeah, no, it really is. It like Leona was like the first band every single time I played, and actually Smolder was another champion I kind of wanted to get into because all of last week, Becky Rita, Smolder was banned in all 8 games played last week.
Oh,
and so now
understandably so.
And now B1.
Yes.
And so we do get some Smolder, and one thing that I was going to cover is that the 100% band presence on the champion now that it is available. There you have it. Going to be selected. Twitch, though, going to be the counter from TTM Tethys. So, not exactly one you see very often recently. I don't know if there's some secret tech there behind, or perhaps some sneaky tech there on the Twitch train. I mean, either way, this would. Do you know anything about it?
I'm guessing the theory behind it, aside from potentially being a comfort pick, is that Twitch is very easily able to kind of maneuver around fights and actually get onto Smolder and kill that guy before he absolutely wrecks a team. It would require good positioning, but Twitch has the range to do it, and he has the damage to do it too. So I think maybe that's kind of the theory behind it. Twitch is enough of a champion that is just gonna throw a wrench into anything you're planning, though. So I'm interested in seeing how it performs. Meanwhile, back to reality. We have Maokai versus Milio. Likely going to be a Maokai support. Haven't seen that much in the jungle recently. Very disappointing to me as a Maokai enjoyer, jungle Maokai enjoyer for all of the time it was meta. And now we're back to support Maokai, back to the trenches. But
yeah,
it's
on
fine.
the Maokai though, it is surprisingly a potential for at least for TTM. It's a potential triple flex. Volter is a large fan of playing Maokai in the top lane. So even though that's more of a legacy pick, certainly one that Volter has played before, as well as Sutek. Also, kind of still picking the Maokai in the jungle, at least in solo queue. So, while I do agree, I would unless of course they do pick Lulu.
Never mind. If the Lulu is support, which I get, we'd have to really be going back in time to send Lulu anywhere but support.
Machine gun Lulu top.
we're sending Lulu top. It's back.
There's going to be a top Twisted Fate pick, and then they're going to counter it with machine gun Lulu top.
They're just
calling it right now.
They're just preempting the Twisted Fate. They can feel it in their bones. It's like we're gonna flex the Lulu up there. We're going right back to season 4 with this one. On the second round of bans here, Asol will be the first to drop. At this point, really just top laners and mid laners. Those big solo lane picks are going to be the targets for both of these teams. Trying to figure out what is the best possible option here for, what to take, what to get rid of. And Kassadin, likely that's something you only ban if you just don't want to play against it. So I imagine there's a very intimidating Kassadin on the side of We Love Solbert, Mishmash Edition.
Yeah, it's definitely a targeted thing, and actually so are all these mid lane bans. Every last one of them's targeted because these two mid laners don't exactly have the deepest champion pool. They are obviously fairly diverse in what they play, but at least what they are comfortable in, and at least in solo queue. Unfortunately for Earl King, one of his most played champions is in fact the Azir, and since that's been disabled in pretty much every single league you go and see, and for good reason, it does, in my opinion, somewhat reduce their champion pool because in terms of like that, and if you want any sort of push in the mid lane. From what I've noticed, Earl King plays a lot of Karma and Asol, and then Azir, and so there seems to be a lack of ability to, if you want to get push in the mid lane, it's not like a necessity all the time, but it might hamstring their drafts a little bit. But we'll just have to wait and see, as K'Sante and Akali are currently the 2 picks on the table for both these teams.
Yeah, K'Sante, still a very powerful pick. Certainly, it is capable of being the, classic, 4,000 HP.
What's that copy What's the copy pasta?
4,000 HP, 2-second Q CDR. Why? He's still capable of being that champion. But Sylas will be the last lock-in there, and that is Garen. R5 Garen counter pick, a classic K'Sante counter right there. Since release, Garen was on the board as something that just ruins this champion. However, I think recently, with how the changes for K'Sante have been, it's not nearly as good as it once was, but Garen is still just kind of an annoying champion to deal with. So honestly, some really exciting picks this game. I'm very enticed. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, for sure. I think on the side of We Love Solbert, I think there's a little bit maybe confusion between their bot lane and the rest of their composition. They have a lot of, between Wukong, Sylas, K'Sante, very much go in and beat everybody up sort of champions. And I think with Milio alongside Smolder and that extra range that Milio does give, I think it can slightly negate Smolder's, because Smolder, as far as I understand, kind of wants to just have people run into him, and then he just kind of hops away and then does a bajillion damage and executes everybody. So, yeah, like with Melio should definitely help with that, but just a little concern on that and immediately with what I'm looking at. But yeah, two very big teams that just kind of just they just, I don't know how to. I mean,
yeah, they
do that. They just kind of do that, and then kills happen, and then and that's just the way it goes. I do think that there's going to be a lot of clashing, especially when you give Silas yet another 2 dashes when he steals Akali's perfect execution and all that. So, honestly, 2 fairly similar drafts, though.
Yeah, I would agree. I definitely the bot side of Smolder Milio definitely doesn't feel like it necessarily wants to play the same kind of game that Wukong and Cassante do, but I think that Smolder is such a disgustingly overpowered an overtuned champion, at least on the current patch, that as long as you get to the power spikes you need, he's just going to melt people regardless. So he's still just a functional champion. He may not be as optimal as he would be in a comp better suited for him, but we'll just have to see if TTM can kind of exploit the fact that this champion is in a situation where he might not be as safe as you would hope. Especially considering they have the Akali, they have the Twitch, and depending on the flank angles, they might even have a Garen on top of that guy. So, very exciting to see what is going to likely be a game of can we kill the stupid little dragon guy and before he wipes our team, or maybe Wukong wipes our team, I guess, at least in the early to mid game. So looking at these 2 comps, I know you said they were very even, but which one do you favor going here into game 1 personally?
Personally, I think I slightly prefer Solbert, because while I do have that slight concern about the little bit of a dissonance between their bot lane and the rest of their picks, as you said, again, it is Smolder, and Solbert is definitely a Kog'Maw connoisseur. So if there's somebody who does know how to just stay alive, I also believe when I checked, he was like tied for 3rd or 4th in terms of least deaths, even though per game, even if it is only week 1. If there is somebody who you want to just not die, it is a Smolder, right? So yes. I think just off the top of my head, I do I'd say probably like 65-45 in favor of We Love Solbert on draft alone. Also, here's Peppers. We stand Pepper here.
Hello.
Yeah. But some other final things. One thing that we did last week that Moose brought up that I'm going to continue is the map draft. Clearly the most important aspect of each draft. And since Becky, since you are technically the guest on this production, I want you to start off with your picks for Drakes.
Well, our producer Wookie Monster also produces on draft nights on Monday, which Moose and I are on. So he knows how bad this is for me. He knows how atrocious my prediction rate is on dragons. So back again, I guess. Cloud Drake first. Always Cloud Drake.
Damn it! Damn, that's my go-to. All right.
I want LCK got me through college. I have to stand the Cloud Drake.
Understandable. Well, I guess I'll go. It's one of the conflicting things is where do you want to go with what you want to see or like what do you think will happen? I think I'd have to go with what I want to see. So I will say Hextech and Ocean.
All right. I will take Infernal and Mountain then, because I like those riffs.
Yeah. All right. And that leaves me with Chemtech. So am I forgetting?
I'll pick Chemtech. You have Hextech, Chemtech, and Ocean for you.
Yeah. So that does leave me. Yeah. I'll pick whatever it is. Either way. Yeah, unless you got anything else, Becky Rita.
I will say, I guess to just quickly give what I think, my prediction rate is famously atrocious. On Tuesday, I cast for the Plat League. I didn't predict a single game correctly, so I'm gonna see if I can keep that up. I believe in Smolder. I believe in Cassante. I think these champions just have really good buttons. So I will predict We Love Solbert for game 1 here. So we'll see. We'll see if I continue to be the 0% correct gamer, or if We Love Solbert and the power of Smolder are capable of destroying a caster curse as I have inflicted on them. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens when we get into the game. We're going to take a short break as we transition into the lobby and wait for the spectator delay. So stick around. We will have the action for you here in game 1 coming at you after our break. Hello, everybody, and welcome here onto the Rift for Game 1 of our series between We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition and TTM Tethys here in the Blue Otter League Diamond Division. I'm Becky Rita on play-by-play, Isaac on the color cast, and Wookie Monster clicking the buttons behind the scene. We've got potentially a skirmish here as Maokai's in a bit of danger already. Barcode is looking to try and scan this region right here. It's gonna get pounded here as Garen's gonna start spinning. Karma Warrior throwing out some autos here. Flash gonna get blown. Final Ninja has actually arrived here as well as the stun's gonna come out. Stylus gonna make a king of himself right there, cleaning up off of the Maokai, chopping that tree down and getting a first blood bounty for himself.
Yeah, that extra gold going to feel a bit nice. Even though it is extra bit of gold, one thing I will say, Barcode wrists did also flash, so it will be down as one extra flash should that come through, and well, obviously that is something worth pointing out, especially on a champion like on Wukong, something that, and maybe not so much at level 1 or the early levels, but wait, hold on. One of those, I get debated by any sort of CC coming through like that, honestly, every time.
We're just, Silas is just saying hello, just throwing chains out, whipping some auto attacks around, but I don't think Silas is gonna really have, especially without Ignite, not really a whole lot of kill power this early in the game into Doran's Shield Akali. He's just hanging out.
But hear me out. But hear me out. Dark Seal stacks. You need those Dark Seal stacks.
That's the objective. The goal is to stack the Dark Seal. as always.
Yeah, of course. That's one of the greatest mini games in the game, honestly.
Yeah.
But other things aside, I know I had something in mind, and I got completely distracted by level 1. And
the Silas stunned you too, as the caster. Maokai walking into mid, thinking about getting a gank off here, but not able to get in range for the twisted advance. I believe they did, because that's that Maokai move speed nerf. They gave him a -5 on his ankles, really affecting the power of the Maokai champion for sure. Not able to quite get caught up to Earl King there, so Silas gonna walk away scot-free as both of these junglers taking a pretty slow clear of the first round here. Neither are gonna be at the scuttle at level 4, so they're just gonna be looking to see who can get there first. And it looks like we do have a trade in the mid lane as Earl King taking a ton of damage right now. Karma Warrior actually getting blasted right there. Gonna have to potentially recall. They're sitting under tower right now, and that means Sutek is thinking about going mid, does have flash. Earl King does not. Earl King throws out the abscond abduct, and there's no way he's going to be able to get away from this one as Sutek, he's too slow! -5! Never mind, he's able to close the gap. He's going to throw some auto attacks out, but he actually doesn't do any damage right here as Q doesn't do anything, and Earl King is actually going to do so much, and here comes Barcode Wrist, giving a slap on the wrist. That is lethal to Sutek right there. Unbelievable stuff from Barcode, just arriving and cleaning up.
I think more so than anything, it seemed more like a bit of a miscommunication between Karma Warrior and Sutek there. I mean, Sutek obviously fully pushing the issue and trying to find the kill onto Earl King, but there's just such a large wave that Karma Warrior was. Oh wait, whoa, hold on.
Yeah. I was letting you cook there because I was thinking that Garen might not just kill that guy, but Garen definitely still wins. Even though I said that it's better for Cassante, don't mistake it. Cassante still loses this 1v1 against Garen, and Volta right there showing why this matchup is very favorable for the Demacian Prince, or not the Demacian Prince, the Demacian Knight up here, Mr. Crown Guard in top lane, as the fight's going to continue. Cassante's going to try and return fire here. Volter very low, does still have flash, does still have his cooldowns, also level 6, so if he's able to get Night Ravens low enough, he could go for an execute, but Barcode Wrist has arrived, and it's just going to very easily secure that one, give a little bit of moral support for Night Ravens as the two of them go and finish that guy off. So Volter getting punished for staying a little too long by the jungler.
Yeah, and one thing that I was going to mention is that for Volter, at least until he died in that gank, one thing that it's that you have to see from this Garen into the Cassante is that honestly, I missed this detail before going into the game, which is probably the reason why I was surprised by that kill, was that Volter did elect to go Ignite instead of Teleport. So without that map presence really going to be available, he pretty much has to get so far ahead where he's just going to be a menace in the side lane, because if he isn't, Garen definitely can do a lot of damage if he does find the right target, but without that, I feel like he's going to struggle throughout the game if he doesn't start to really build this lead.
Yeah, it definitely feels like for Tethys, they're going to get this Garen, trying to get this Garen ahead, give him enough of a lead that you have to send 2 people to take care of him, because the fewer members that they have to deal with, their 4-man squad, I think the 4-man from Tethys is actually really strong. Just the Maokai, Akali, Twitch, and Lulu, I think the 4 of them are pretty strong in a fight, so it's just going to be, can Garen pull enough people to him that it's worth not having the TP? And getting that first kill is great, but trading one back there is certainly not favorable. It's certainly not a situation you want to be in, and not a situation you want to be in here is Barcode just going in and cleaning up the Raptors there. getting an extra chicken dinner off of Sutek in the jungle. In the bot lane, we have a little bit of trading from the supports, a little bit of supportal combat. During the analysis and breakdown there were a couple of objectives taken. The first round of Grubbins went over to We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition, while the first Drake was traded for that, going over to Tethys, and that is an Ocean Drake that was knocked out. Riot is telling us
my two
that
dragons! Hextech's neck! My two dragons! No!
Don't worry, you're just gonna get the hat trick. Don't worry, I am never correct. It's not. It doesn't happen. My dragon prediction rate is embarrassing. So if I actually get it correct, maybe it's just that Moose is really smart, and that's the difference. Is that Moose just knows these things.
Moose has a hotline to Mark Merrill. He's like, all right, which Drake's coming up? You know, but,
he actually chooses himself. That's the difference.
That he's actually has a job at right his goal. So what you're telling me is if I'm ever playing, oh wait, hold on, Twisted Advance.
We have a potential fight right here. Twisted Advance gonna go down. We do not have the ulti for Milio. Milio's gonna get locked up right there. That's just gonna be a blasted away small child. But here comes Mom, breathing fire over the Twitch. Epic Fail Guy's gonna potentially fall here, but he will limp away at 2 HP, ticking up on those potions. But Beyond Godly is gonna be engaged on in the top side. We have Volter going for a fight into Night Ravens, just getting a little bit of slicing and dicing going on here. Night Ravens not all out, does still have that in the tank if he wants to do it. Volter's actually going to be going for a kill right here. He's popped the Ignite. He's looking to get into the range, and there it is. Justice delivered as Cassante is taken down for his crimes against top lane across the previous season.
Yeah, I mean, that one was all over the place. First starting out, you know, with the bot lane, since that's where things kind of kicked off, even though these seem to be two rather, I guess, inconsequential or non sequitur fights, we'll say.
Yes.
Kicking off the bot lane, my memory sucks.
Yeah,
I remember seeing Final Ninja going down. I do remember it being traded.
Yeah, it was the Nature's Grasp from Maokai came out, crashed into Milio. Milio level 5, just kind of gets popped by Twitch with the range. Barcode did get there, which
I called his ultimate Twisted Advance. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's his W. Don't worry.
It's his W. It's his W. Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
Look, I know I may not know many buttons, but I assure you I know Maokai's buttons. Udi or Maokai, my two favorite champions.
I mean, to be fair, with Udyr and Maokai, they have nothing but their buttons. So
yeah, absolutely.
I say having played mostly Leona.
Hey, I love Leona, one of my favorite supports for sure. Anyways, yeah, I gotta say, definitely good for the Twitch here, and Twitch is actually on the prowl right now. Does have the Rat-a-tat-tat available. I guess it's Spray and Pray. It hasn't been Rat-a-tat-tat for a while, has it?
It's Rat-a-tat-tat in our hearts.
I mean, it's, as a League boomer, you'd think I would just say Spray and Pray, but I don't know. I do like Rat-a-tat-tat. I liked both names, so I'm fine with either. Does have it primed and ready if he wants to go for an engage down here onto Solbert and Final Ninja. And Lulu is in the pocket here. Pocket Lulu is absolutely what you want to have if you are a Twitch. So we'll see if they decide to go for something. Wukong is on bot side, taking the next dragon. We'll see if anything happens from this.
I mean, they're definitely positioning as. Wait, hold on. That's a tower shot into Night Ravens into a Gary with the ultimate.
Night Ravens taking a bit of damage right here as the Hex Tech will go down. We've got to pause. So we have to take a breather. Epic Fail Guy 456. The failure here, I assume, is in the internet. It's disconnecting. So Twitch will find their way back into the game, and Girl King may have found something stunned up on the Akali, but Akali is gone. Here comes the Nature's Grasp. Milio is going to be able to get the ulti out, so the root's going to go down, but it's not going to be much else other than that. Barcode on the back line is able to get some damage out, but it's going to get polymorphed immediately. First kill going over to the Twitch, as Earl King's going to try and turn something back around, but no, instead it's just going to take the flawless execution over the wall and dip out of there as we look at a paused screen as Spectator figures itself out. Classic Spectator pause. But that will likely be the end of that skirmish as the Nature's Grasp into Spray and Pray claims another bounty for Epic Fail Guy 456.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of who you want these kills going on to, especially the bounties, it's just gone perfectly for the side of TTM Tethys, and so I'd have to assume a bit of that disconnect was a large part of the reason why that dragon wasn't contested. In the end, still at the end of the day, the dragon scored 1-1, and that was the Drake I was forgetting. It was Infernal Drake. I knew I was forgetting one, and there it was. So congratulations, game 1 goes over to you, Becky Rita, already.
All right. Awesome. You know, already better than any of my predictions in drafts. So
this is a real important thing, because I did actually take 2 off of Moose last week. That being said, with the Genkin coming,
we do have the gank coming right here. Flash gonna get blown by Volter, but Barcode is gonna hang around. Maokai is up there as well to dissuade a dive opportunity. Both 3 rounds of Grubbins has been traded. A Night Ravens maybe in a little bit of danger right here. Clapping going all out into Sutek. Just gonna get the execute down, punch him back, clean him up. Another kill over to Volter. And this Cassante is certainly far from copy pasta material right now.
Yeah. I mean, we did say, or I guess you did say, about how we expect that to go, and well, really, this is what needs to right now. The wave was massive.
Yeah, it was a wave clear ulti. It makes sense. You don't want to get that all crashed on you, because then Twitch, if of any AD carry you don't want to let leave lane for free, it's probably Twitch. You don't want to give them an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and not only that, at the time, Solbert was kind of alone in lane without his Milio beside him. Definitely a potential opportunity to maybe have found an all-in there without using that, so unacceptable use of it, despite the fact that it's one of those abilities with such like a loud global sound that whenever it's called, it just, no matter what, just drags your attention. That being said, Karma Warrior going low.
Karma Warrior going for a trade right here, looking to get some damage onto here. Here comes the wild growth from Lulu. Polymorph's gonna go out too. The slow is coming down. Earl King's gonna try and trade back, get some HP back. Sutek gonna dive in with the twisted advance, and Lulu will pick that one up. A very solid kill by the side of TTM Tethys as they take Earl King down.
They if there is any solace in that, they did commit a lot for it.
3 ultis.
3 ultis, but more namely, wait, hold on.
Ooh, Solber in a bit of danger right here. The Spray and Pray is going out. The Flash is going to go through. The Expunge will tick. The Poison ticks down, and Smolder is smoldering right now in a puddle of goo, I guess. You know, Twitch poison right there.
I would assume, if we're talking about smoldering, even though it's not like chemically a burn, I would say smoldering in acid, right?
It's acidic.
It's acidic. Yeah. That's a pretty close comparison, I think.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Chemistry aside, we do have the Rifttail getting claimed by Barcode Risk, so they will have that advantage to perhaps open up this map a little more and equalize in these turret counts. All the while, speaking of around that, I mean, I guess it's still Baron, but hold on, Karma Warrior into a support.
Karma Warrior has found Final Ninja. Could just be looking to flawlessly execute that fella. And yes, that was certainly a flawless execution. Didn't even need the second jump out. Is able to just hold on to that. It ticks away. And Final Ninja stepped into the wrong place and found the wrong ninja. As now a fight could potentially break out here. Is Beyond Godly hanging around. Nature's Grasp is available if they want to look for something right here. Flawless execution is stolen. The stun misses. Here comes a twisted advance. Here comes Karma Warrior diving in on top of the Silas, but he's still pretty tanky right now. Karma Warrior is going to get a little low, but here comes the Wild Growth to keep him alive. Their HP bar is ticking down, but they're able to dip away. And now here comes Epic Fail Guy to try and get those damage out, try and clean this fight up. Earl King in the pit with the Dragon, taking a little bit of damage right here. Flash twisted advance, locking them up. Soulbert's on the top side, trying to help this tank out. But that is not a tank, that is Silas. In comes Barcode Wrist trying to clean up this backline, but they are not able to get anything out. The Cyclone is not up. Sutek throwing at it slow. He's going to get stunned up into the wall. He's going to go down, but can the rest of the team get away right here? There's a lot of HP on the side of Soulbert. We'll see if Barcode Risk can get anything done. No, they go into their own demise under the turret. Not able to get any damage down as Night Ravens and Volter are now in the bot side here. Volter has arrived, and Volter is very dangerous. He's going to try and get something done there. TP coming in from Karma Warrior will have the mid laner arrive, and now with the power of TTM Tethys, this is just going to be an easy Drake going over to the side of, TTM.
Yeah, a very extended fight, and at the beginning parts of the fight, if it wasn't for the botched tower dive, one thing that I didn't notice was that the teleport from Night Ravens was able to fairly quickly turn that fight. Wait, hold on.
Volter. It could be getting burned down right here. The Demacian Justice trying to bring this criminal to justice here.
That's it.
Like in the lore, slips away right out of Garen's grasp. As now Garen is going to try and slip away here. Barcode Risk gets his stride broken and is just going to have to walk away there. Lore accurate battle ends in nobody dying in the bot side.
Yeah, they both had lore accurate plot armor. English is a difficult language. Mostly called Silas W and Garen passive.
Here comes the spray and pray! And who's got to pray right now is the side of We Love Soulbert Mismatch. Pick a god and pray, perhaps. As they are able to walk away from that one. Sutek gonna be looking to dive onto Night Ravens here. Turret is down. They're getting a lot of damage out, but Night Ravens is still pretty tanky. This is Cassante. He's not gonna go down very easily. Lulu is gonna be arriving soon. Maybe get able to get a little bit extra down, but no, Night Ravens is fast enough to slip out of their grasp, just narrowly.
All the while that was happening, it was a bit on the mid lane as well. Something that did kind of go a little bit unnoticed was that if you take a quick gander down onto Twitch's items, Epic Fail Guy, he's picked up the Runan's Hurricane, and at the beginning of that part of that fight, even though, oh wait, hold on.
All right, Karma Warrior has found Final Ninja once again. Another kill going over to the Akali here. Karma Warrior finding some great opportunities this game and just cleaning up this poor support. Yeah, I wanted a flashback here. Enchanter's getting farmed by assassins. Oh no.
Yeah, honestly, a bit. I think those two kills that Akali got on to Final Ninja, I think were less so Karma Warrior finding the angle and more so Final Ninja not recognizing that there was an angle there. And yeah, and when you have four level difference and hardly any gold income as a support, I feel that's one of those things that you just have to get out immediately. And even though he did have the support of a few of his allies somewhat nearby, they weren't nearly close enough to do anything against a Akali who's 4 levels up on you, as we do get a drop of the Rift Herald into the top lane.
It's actually 4 people strong on top side for TTM if they want to look for this fight. Maokai is there, doesn't have the Nature's Grasp quite yet, but it's coming up soon. Karma Warrior is looking just to kill Earl King right here. Flawless Execution is going to flawlessly execute that guy with the help of Twitch. Unstoppable, by the way, on Epic Fail Guy 456. And now with Earl King down, they have the man advantage. They could consider going for the Purple Worm. They're throwing out the Nature's Grass. It's not quite going to land onto, never mind, it lands onto a clone. Fooled me, though. So They are able to walk away here as Epic Fail Guy leashes the Baron. They have to know this has started. They're going to head up. TP is available for Cassante. It's going to be dropping now, 9,000 HP on the Baron, as here comes Solbert's team looking to siege here, and their presence is enough to dissuade the Baron assault by TTM Tethys.
They do get the teleport out of Night Ravens, though. And I think that's huge, considering Volter doesn't have teleport himself.
Yep.
It will mean that that ability to find a man advantage in these fights won't be available for quite a while. And especially with how ahead Volter is, and you know, Twitch almost on 3 items himself. It's not the most flashy result ever, but it could definitely very well be huge, especially with the next straight coming up here in just 30 seconds and the positioning that TTM will have towards this Dragon Pit. I really don't think there's much that We Love Solbert can do to contest this and prevent it from going to Soul Point.
Yeah, it's not looking great right now for Solbert for sure. Solbert and the rest of the team, the mishmash of players here, they're going to have to try and find some kind of good angle, perhaps with the Cyclone and with the Smolder. If we could get a look at what Smolder's stacks are right now? I am curious. It's 140, still pretty far away, if I remember correctly. What, it's 225?
Oh, shoot, is it 225 or 215? I should know this.
I think it's over 200. That's
Either way, the point is that 140 is still far away from whichever.
We are not
one
there
it
yet.
is.
And until we get there, Smolder is going to be not really a Smolder, maybe more like a couple of sparks, you know, hitting a pile of ash, hitting a pile of wood right there. So we'll see if Smolder can actually start heating up before it is too late. Meanwhile, what is heating up are the Infernal Drakes in the pocket of TTM Tethys, as they are on Soul Point right now with 2 for themselves. In 4 minutes, 30 seconds, We Love Solbert Mishmash are going to have to figure out if they want to contest that, or, you know, if they can even think about doing it. They need to get as strong as possible as soon as possible.
Yeah, and so if you are on the side of TTM Tethys to kind of prevent that stalling, even though I don't believe next 5 minutes is exactly stalling, one thing I would hope to see them do is to try to bait around a fight with the honestly somewhat lack of vision that that We Love Solbert does have, and that's obviously they obviously have those 2 wards in the river, so they do have a little bit of vision. I would like to see perhaps a few more scanners coming through, especially from Sutek, clearing out that vision in this top side and just having the threat of Baron potentially be taken. I think will be absolutely huge. If there's no way of knowing it's being taken or not, you can definitely force a fight, an unfavorable fight to We Love Solbert. And if they do that, I feel like this game is all but theirs if they do get that one really huge decisive fight before a Baron take.
Yeah, and they certainly have the tools to make that fight a decisive one. They just need to get one good pick, and there are plenty of targets to pick off. The Milio, the Smolder, Silas even is not that tanky.
Like this.
Or speaking of, Silas potentially getting picked off. The CC chain's going to go down onto Earl King, but nobody else is going to be in range to respond fast enough. So that's actually going to be a burned Nature's Grasp for not a whole lot, although it is a pretty short cooldown. It's not the longest cooldown of an ability, but it will give a little bit of a little window of breathing room potentially for We Love Solbert to look for something. But I don't know if that's in the cards for them. Perhaps they're
doesn't
just
look like it right now. No.
Yeah. They're just gonna walk away here, as Cassante does have TP again, as the Baron is just gonna get started. There's no vision on this. They aren't pinging it. They aren't going towards it. A caution ping. Yeah, they have no idea this is happening. The Earl King may be discovering what's going on right here, as just gonna dip away, not investigating any further. They are not concerned. They might not even know. There aren't any pings dropping. This is just gonna be a Baron going down for nothing.
And that is huge.
Tethys
that is huge because we have the the Infernal Drake, which is Soul Point coming it up in just over a minute and a half. And, you know, with Baron and these pushing lanes that they will get with Baron onto all 5 members, mind you. Again, and they don't currently have vision in this bottom half jungle. I mean, they have their own jungle, but not necessarily on the Drake. And they will have to be just running head first into trouble. Smolder's still getting the quick check, still not all that close to hitting his I win point. So with this up, things are starting to look slightly just that much more dire for the side of We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition.
Yeah, dire for sure, but not necessarily impossible. They could still get a steal. If they get a steal, that will buy them a bit more time. Although, what are they going to lose by going for that steal? It's going to come down to whether or not Barcode Risk can even get an opportunity to get close to the pit. So if TTM Tethys can play this smart, they can likely just choke out all of the objectives here and get a clean victory as Earl King going in, getting some vision cleared as the side of We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition are trying to break their way across the vision line into the jungle here. Looking at the river, 20 seconds on the objective. Garen is on his way. This is not a splitting Garen. This is a fighting Garen. He wants some action going. He's going to get the mid lane moving. Waves very much favorable for Tethys. Vision very much favorable. There's just not a whole lot We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition can do. They have to find a way in, and Barcode could be in a little bit of danger. We do have a ward going out right here, 7,000 on the Dragon. Barcode looking for it. Valter is waiting. Karma Warrior's waiting. They know that the Wukong's there, but he's only got one shot, one opportunity. Is he going to be able to make it happen? He's trying to find his way in, but here comes the Akali. Here comes the assassination. They decided to skip the Dragon, pull the go button, smash that go button even, as Soulbert is taken down, and the Soulbert team falls as well. Only Cassante remains, and that is not a Night Raven worth considering a threat, as the Drake will slowly go over to Maokai as the rest of the team clean up these bot side objectives.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to imagine they even come at the very least put up an inhibitor, take down an inhibitor, I guess, more accurate. And the fact that it's on the spot side means that for the next Drake, I believe it should be not next Drake, for the next Baron, I believe it should still be down. So that perma pushing in that bottom side will be absolutely critical for the side of well, I guess for both sides if you really think about it. For We Love Soulbert, though, is that they will have somebody to go and answer towards that bottom side. At the very least, Earl King and Night Ravens both have their teleports back available, and now that they're both level 16, shouldn't be too big of a cooldown if they do use them before this Baron, so that at least they have that going for them. But once more, it's just a continuation of what I said about 5 minutes ago, is that it's just looking continuously more and more dire every single time anything happens on the map here for We Love Soulbert.
Yeah, it is just... You gotta consider, at this point, do you even think about this game, or are you thinking about what you can do for the next one? At the very least, we still have to close this one out, and Tethys have to tie a bow on it, so they still could lose the game. It just is certainly unlikely, as they currently have an 8k gold lead. I'm an English teacher, not a math teacher, so don't judge me here. We will see whether or not Tethys...
You're close, it's 7k. But...
7k, all right, good enough. So we'll see whether or not We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition can hold the fort at least long enough to get a chance with Soulbert, the titular Soulbert, at their final power spike. But I don't know if they'll even get there. I wonder what...
He's hit 225 just now.
All right, we have hit the Smolder win condition. The burn's going to be going down. The mini Elder is available. So will this be enough to stop the wallet power, the sheer money that Tethys have? Here comes the engage from Sutek throwing out the Nature's Grasp. Milio will clear that one out for the team as the fight stops before it can even begin.
Yeah, but critically, no ultimate for Solbert, no ultimate for Final Ninja on that Milio, and as these minions continue to just push in, they just have less and less tools to work with, and so even though they'll survive just that little bit longer, which does not hurt, I just don't really see how much they really get for it, especially if
Ooh, Karma Warrior maybe looking for an execution right here, but perhaps they'll be the one getting flawlessly executed as Earl King stays the king and slays the Karma Warrior as the Silas here stealing that ulti, getting that kill. That's going to be a huge, not a huge pickup, but certainly something here as they now have the man advantage if they want to consider contesting this Baron, although they have minions in their base right now, so it's gonna be hard to leave.
Well, it was a 700 gold shutdown onto a level 17 Silas, even though we haven't really talked about this mid lane too much, even though Karma Warrior is sitting 4-1-4 now, still down behind a lot of CS, and also as it was 2 levels on the Silas, so honestly, I'm not quite sure what the thought process was there, taking a one... Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, Final Ninja gonna get their final moments right here, potentially, as they are just they're gonna burn a little bit, but the poison is not nearly enough. They have enough healing with the Cozy Campfire, but that is a player taken functionally out of the fight, as this Baron is going to get shredded. Nobody can even get close to it, as Twitch makes it a pincushion, clicks the expunge, the smite goes down, and that's going to be a Baron going over to Solbert as Earl King could be in a little bit of danger right here. Goes for the pop and gets rooted because of it. Night Raven maybe looking for a flank opportunity. It's 4v5 right now, but here comes Final Ninja. Night Raven staying alive, but Barcode Wrist does not. Walter very low. The burn from the Elders. We got one shutdown as Night Raven's staying alive for so long. Nobody's going to be able to get onto Smolder right now. Nobody can get there. Karma Warrior is next, and Smolder is just able to get that damage down, get those executes, set the team up for success. We have a fight turned around here for what seemed like it could have been disastrous, but Earl King is still looking to try and get something else out of this. Keep Sutek back, maybe stall these 2 players to give the team more time to do something. Earl King is stealing the wild growth, making themselves go big, trying to finish off Sutek, but it's just not enough damage. Will go down, burned to a crisp by the Infernal Drake stacks. But the Elder Drake is spawning soon, and We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition are gonna have first crack at getting on the Rift.
Yeah, they will at least be able to get the vision down first and start to exert their pressure there, but Solbert finally showing the amount of power that he does have, picking up 3 shutdowns there, and was able to go back and collect a full Essence Reaver on the recall. So hitting that 4 item point as well as the appropriate amount of stacks. It's not looking nearly as dire as it was about even 3 minutes ago. Especially after that fight, and that We Love Solbert has shown that they can win a few of these fights if they do get the right angle, but they will have to find it, especially because 5 Elder Drakes, Bekurita, is more than 1.
Yeah, 5 Elder Drakes is more than 1, but will they even get one? They do, and that is almost certainly going to be the demise of We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. Only one goes down, though, as Barcode Wrist is the only player getting burned. Mom getting called, but she is not answering and doing a whole lot to help out, as she is the team We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition are just going to have to stay in base, do what they can. Baron is still available on Lulu and Maokai, so they do have the enhanced minions. They have the Elder Burn. They have the damage. Spray and Pray is available. So we do have that. The Flawless Execution also available. Earl King, good selection there, pulling the Nature's Grasp, just trying to get something to keep the enemy team at bay, stall as long as humanly possible, maybe allow Solbert to get some free fire going. That's 2 inhibs down. Going for the third right here is what they are going to try and do on the side of Tethys, as Night Ravens stepping forward, stopping the minions, going unstoppable. The entire side of Tethys waiting for something. The bean can gets thrown, but the gauntlet is not.
Yeah, and really at this point, I don't think that they really need to force a fight, especially with Elder Drake up. It would certainly help if it does fall their way, but it's one of those things where just no need to needlessly force something that isn't there, especially with 2 inhibitors, but not only 2 inhibitors, 2 inhibitors that cover the bottom half of the map. And as your Baron expires, I think really all you really want to do is just kind of wait for that next one to come up, because at this point, we already saw how fast, just a few minutes ago, that the neutral objective take from the side of TTM Tethys really is. And wait, hold on. Got a few abilities getting thrown aggressively out. Hold on.
Yeah, here comes some aggression right here. The Nature's Grasp is going to crash into a couple of players right here, including Earl King, but Earl King's a little too far away. They aren't concerned. Karma Warrior does have a Shuriken tagged onto Barcode Wrist, but it's not going to take it. They're just going to secure the third inhib. Double super minions are going to be crashing in anytime now, as Epic Fail Guy is going to fire out these auto attacks, looking at this burn. They still have the Elder ticking on them right now. I believe for 30 more seconds is how the time they have, and here comes the explosions as Volter is going to be first to get a kill, but Sutek is going to continue the assault. Earl King will get one back, but it is only one that the team can get. There's a single player alive, and it is Milio, and I don't think that this is Ronaldo right here, not able to carry the team on their own. And that's just going to be game 1 going over to TTM Tethys.
Speaking of Ronaldo, is that are we going to start calling Sutek now, or is that
I don't know. I actually don't know anything about football. The most I know about the sport is whatever tweets show up on my timeline from the people who actually watch it. But either way, what we did just watch here was a rather compelling performance from TTM Tethys here in game 1. Certainly a dominating game. They took a little bit long to finish it, but they are able to get the win in the end without giving a whole lot out to the enemy team.
Yeah, it was very, especially toward as the game went on, it was very, very clinical from TTM Tethys is the best way I have to describe it. Not too many mistakes, and really they just took what they can and slowly choked out We Love Solbert. And despite that one kind of pickup with that triple Smolder shutdown, where for a second it looked like they might be able to find a way back into the game. Yeah, it just overall, TTM Tethys. It's one of those weird things when you say dominant, you typically think like quick and bloody. But, yeah. So I don't necessarily say I want to say dominant, but
they were on the operating table for a while.
For sure.
It was clinical. It was surgical, but it still took a little while. So yeah. At the end of the day, there was a little bit of a scare there. That we had a little bit of bleeding, a little bit of extra bleeding going on. Had to call in another nurse to help with the situation. But as it turns out, the patient was successfully, I guess, surgified, as dismantled.
We'll go with that one.
They were definitely dismantled in the end. So great stuff and a great performance from Tethys here in game 1. So we'll just have to see what the side of We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition can bring in game 2. Will we see will we see Smolder again? Will Kog'Maw get through? Probably not. But those answers will come at you in the next draft when we get back from a quick break. We'll see you in a moment for game 2 of our series here in BOL Diamond. Stick around. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to Game 2 of our series between TTM to the Moon Tethys and We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. TTM Tethys took Game 1 in a commanding fashion, so we'll see what We Love Solbert Mishmash can do in response. It seems they've selected red side here for the draft, so we'll see what they have planned, what kind of strategies they're looking with that guaranteed counter pick and that first double pick for their team.
Actually, Blue Water League rules because I've done the reading. The sides do swap every game.
Oh, okay. I've been exposed as not having read the rule book. I've been thinking.
It's okay. It you know, in fairness, it was not a very fun reading.
I imagine it wasn't a page turner. I've read the draft rule book. Don't worry, I've had to read that one. But I guess Solbert are on the red side, so we'll see what the team can do now that they have been put on a different position. They've actually decided to ban the Smolder. They don't even want to think about giving that one up. Unlike TTM Tethys, they aren't nearly as brave as the astronaut gamers are. Acel getting taken down. The Kog'Maw once again, never gonna see that champion, and the Belvita actually gets banned as well, presumably a targeted one. Meanwhile, and I think Belvita's pretty good right now, although I've not really been a big fan of any time I've seen it. It's always just been kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, honestly, same. But Barcode Wrists is a very much, at least in solo queue, a very big Belveth player. It's like his most played champion by quite the margin. I want to say it was like almost double of the next second most played champion, if I recall correctly. Either way, that's going to be a Maokai selected almost instantly from the side of To the Moon.
Best champion in the format, 3 years running, baby. We never losing. It's Arbor Day every day with Maokai. It's truly beautiful. It's B1 Maokai is super safe. Like we talked last game in draft how it was a double flex, potentially a
triple flex.
Yeah, potentially a triple flex even if Volter wants to be on Maokai duty. I imagine, considering how the Garen performed, we kind of don't want this guy on a tank, but we'll see. Instead, we have We Love Solbert Mishmash picking up a Jinx for Solbert, and Xin Zhao going over to the jungle. In response, we might have another Twitch. Milio is still available. The Lulu is still available as well. So these Twitch supporting enchanters are all on the table if they do want to go for this assassin-oriented AD carry once again.
They haven't switched off. They're going. Surely, right? Yeah, there it is. Surely, yeah, there we go. I haven't seen a lot of Twitch in God knows how long. At the very least, since Jinx has been picked, there's not much of a threat of like some super heavy counter to Twitch. Hold on, Hui though.
Hui
banned out last time.
Yeah, and we're hovering Yasuo. This is probably bait. I don't know why we'd pick this guy. So yeah, Hui making it through, kind of a menace. Yeah, it's gonna be more. That's more real. That's certainly more real. It's certainly disappointing, but it makes sense. Oh, wait a minute. All right, we've got the action. We're bringing the heat this game.
At least post level 16.
Yes. Get your clock. Get your clocks ready, everyone.
Hold on. Let me just gotta set a stop at my stopwatch real fast. How much time does it usually take to reach level 16? We'll say I'll put a timer on for starting now. I'll put it on for 30 minutes and we'll see how it is from there. But other than that, I do like that. But surprisingly enough, after the first round of picks, no supports going to go down, and so Milio going to be the option to be taken away on the side of We Love Solbert. Oddly enough, I feel like if you want to pick that, you'd want it to be paired with Jinx, though, right?
Yeah, it's certainly something that you would want to have. You'd want to have some kind of enchanter with the Jinx. Although, in a similar vein, just any sort of protective champion, things like the Thresh have been pretty successful with Jinx in the past, but Thresh has not appeared at all, at least in games that I've seen. It's certainly been more Enchanter oriented, or Nautilus, because he's unmovable. He'll never leave you, ever. As another support getting taken out by We Love Solbert. They do not want this Twitch to have a friend. But that doesn't mean that there aren't still options. We could go deeper in the tank. We can get weirder. Sona is available.
It is available. I'm not. Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
I would rate it. I would rate
Okay.
it, not necessarily in terms of being the great option here, but I would rate it in terms of the fact that I've played way too many games of Leona, but honestly, I'd much prefer to see that. Well, okay, I was going to say I'd much prefer to see Nautilus selected in terms of actual picks, but I will not complain with Leona being in the game.
They're trying to just get the casters on their side. Little do they know that is going to lead to their downfall if I'm predicting you. So,
no, that's why they let Maokai through.
Oh, they're trying to get me to predict Maokai, of course, and I probably will. I do really like what TTM has right now, so we'll see what they do.
Actually, so.
B4 and B5. The Kayn, that was banned away from them in game 1. They're actually gonna get that here, as there's so much focus put onto the support. And now we'll just see what Twitch's partner could possibly be. And it turns out it was Maokai the whole time. A plot twist, everyone. Maokai was the support. You fools. So this could be a Shen. The submarine Shen is a classic combination, and I think that's gonna get locked in.
Yeah, and we were saying Maokai being a potential triple flex. So even though TTM is going to be given Maokai twice in a row, okay. I don't think I've ever seen this matchup in the top lane before, like literally ever. I don't know if I like it too much initially though. I know a lot of Gwen's early damage does come from the empowered auto attacks, and Shin he goes no to those. So I don't know. I don't know if you have any insight onto that matchup between Gwen and Shin. That rhymes. I didn't even think about
Gwen
that.
And Shin.
Gwen,
feel
Shin,
like
Gwen, Shin, impacts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength there. In life and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. We have aligned the same brain cell. Our synergy impeccable. I will say, I've not played that match myself. So I can't say how it feels. I would be on the Shen side. I can't play Gwen. But if I had to guess, it's probably not great for Shen. It's better than most tanks, I would say, because he does have his auto attack denying field, which will at least negate a bit of Gwen's damage, but she still will function very similarly to how she does into any other tank, where she just kind of snips away at you endlessly, and there's not a whole lot you can do. I think that it's certainly not awful. I don't think it's Shen favored, but I don't think it's as catastrophic as, say, like, picking Gwen into like a Malphite or an Ornn even. It's not that bad for the tank, but it's still certainly not ideal.
Yeah, other things that kind of got lost over in this Kayn might seem like a bit of a surprise, especially Becurita, since you did just kind of show up one day today, since we did need another substitution there. But Sutek, since it was banned away from in the first one, it was one of those like multiple bans in that first game where it's like these are comfort bans. Definitely Sutek, most played champion in solo queue by a country mile is the Kayn, and so it's one of those exciting things where you get to see someone at a fairly high level play the champion that they really just like playing, and so this is where my lack of Hui knowledge and how he'll be able to help out with any sort of early fights that Kane does kind of have to take, despite not particularly being the strongest early. We'll have to see. So that's when you fill me in on the Hui knowledge, because I'm totally definitely not the color caster and should totally definitely not know these things ahead of time.
Hui is just like a champion, or into Kassadin specific?
I'd say more so into Kassadin, because I do get the feeling that because it is Kassadin, like the first few levels, it will be helpful, and those are kind of do when you want to get King going a bit.
It's certainly like Kassadin is going to be kind of a non-factor. The Q shield actually will be pretty decent. A lot of Hui's big trade opportunities, from my experience at least, come from more mid to close range rather than nuking from afar, at least early on. So as long as Kassadin's able to get that Q out, he is able to get a little bit of shielding to negate some of that damage. So the trades may not be as catastrophically awful, but it's certainly going to be tough for Kassadin until he gets those Rift Walks online. Which will give, I imagine, Kane quite a bit of opportunity to just have free reign of the jungle if Xin Zhao is not clearing quickly enough.
Which, typically not the biggest Xin Zhao problem. That being said, into Kane, it's one of those things that, I mean, how often do you see Kane played, really? That's an open question to you, by the way. And I know that sounds rhetorical, which it is kind of somewhat, but at the same time,
so, you know, considering how much I draft like Emerald Leagues, Kane actually shows up quite a bit.
Never mind, I stand corrected.
I usually cast like lower level leagues, so Kane actually does appear because he's a fun champion and he's very good at turbo stomping players who are just worse than you. He has a lot of tools. And is
voiced by Robbie Damon.
Yeah, he has a lot of fun tools. He, against a lot of junglers, can just make you a miserable just make your life miserable. A good Kane player is suffering to play against. So, if Sutek is this good Kane player we've been waiting for, we could see something truly magical from the side of TTM Tethys, but it is still Kane. It is a champion with the same flaws that prevent him from being super effective in pro levels of play. So looking at these two drafts with those things in mind, who do you favor going into game 2 here?
I honestly want to say TTM Tethys. I just overall I don't think Shin's going to be too much of a detriment to where Win rules over this game. Obviously, that is subject to how the matchup actually plays out. But I mean, really, that's, I'd say, the biggest point of contention. And then after that, it's like, I still feel overall, I think that's the only way We Love Solbert does find a way to blow this match open in their favor.
All right. Well,
before we didn't get to the dragon draft though. Yeah, that was coming up.
Yeah, before we move on to the Drake draft, and I will let you handle that. I will say, you know, to give my prediction here, currently still at 0% for the week in terms of successful predictions. So let me check my PayPal here to see if KeebCat has paid me. And it looks like that's no. Okay, so I think TTM is going to win this game. Like you said, they have the better buttons. They played really well last game. They've got momentum. Maokai is great. Twitch is great. We saw the power of that Nature's Grasp into spray and pray combo. And this game, they got those champions that were banned away from them last game. Things like the Hui and the Kane. Clearly, they were banned for a reason. So the fact that they have them now shows that this is going to be a dangerous roster. So I do think that TTM here have drafted a really great team, personally. Although We Love Solbert certainly have the late game win conditions on their side. So, how about that Dragon Draft?
Yeah, okay, Cloud Drake. I'm sorry, I gotta do it to you.
No, my Cloud Drake. Don't worry. My backup, whenever I lose first pick, is I always go PNZ. So get me Hextech Chemtech.
Okay. Infernal Mountain.
All right, then I will get the Ocean as well. So we will we will see who gets the Drake predictions, and we will see if TTM can close out the series like we believe them to do it, or if We Love Solbert have put together a composition, get your clock set to 16. We'll see if Kassadin can bring them to the promised land after a quick break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rift here for Game 2 of our Blue Otter League Diamond Series between To The Moon Tethys and We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. Tethys on the blue side, Mishmash on the red side. I'm Becky Rita. Joining me today, again, is Isaac on the color cast and Wookie Monster clicking the buttons. And we have something special in store here. A few very interesting champions here on the Rift. Things you don't often see. The Shen, the Kayn, the Twitch, the Kassadin. A lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah, not exactly unexpected considering the, I guess, the comfort of these players, all things considered. But it's one of those things that since you don't see them very often, especially as casters, that I am certainly looking forward to. But as we do have a fairly standard 5-point start, that being said, Sutek, one of those things that he's not moving away from this this camp. They do have vision onto Barcode wrists.
Yeah, they know Barcode's there, and Barcode doesn't have info on the Kayn, so they're gonna actually force Barcode back, slow him down, buy Kayn a bit more time to just clean up these Raptors, and they have to know something is up here, but there's not really a whole lot they can do about it. As now, Sutek, level 2 right here, is able to go up to that red buff now that Barcode is just forced back so far, and that is stolen by Sutek there. 8 minions over to this Kayn, and Barcode wrists is on the run. So yeah, that was an incredible start for Kayn right here. He is gonna easily get this 3 buff going if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he might even make it a 4th considering his pathing.
Oh god, not the 4
He's
buff.
Oh no, Barcode wrist is so low. No.
Barcode's lost another camp. This man. This man hasn't seen a single minion. Oh, this game. If I'm Barcode wrist, my fist is going right through the monitor. Like, this is game over. Like, this is what Kayn does to people. This is why, this is the kind of Kayn you see. You forget this champion's in the game. You play against him once as a jungler, and you ban him for the next 3 months. This guy is just such a filthy champion. He can do incredibly nasty things to you, truly illegal things, probably a crime.
Oh.
Speaking of crimes, Karma Warrior is doing so much damage to this Kassadin here. I knew the trades were going to be good, but man, I didn't think he'd be getting into kill range as Earl King forced a flash.
Yeah, and Earl King, no flash, no level 6 available. It is not an ideal position for the side of We Love Solbert, because not only that, they have Barcode wrist, who is still yet to pick up a singular camp on that on that Scuttle Crab.
No.
And
He got
I
Scuttle.
don't. He got Scuttle. He got Scuttle. Okay, so
right.
he is on the board, but I don't know how well it's going to go for him.
Actually, fortunately, Zin's base damages are good enough that Sutek on the Kane here is gonna still take quite a bit of damage. Night Raven's gonna try and trade something back here. The snip's going away as Sutek will get traded back there. Barcode Risk does end up getting an assist off of that, and that is certainly slowing the Kane down here. Will buy Barcode a bit of time to find something for themselves, so they aren't necessarily in deep trenches. Here comes the Twisted Advance. The knockback's going to go on to Solbert. No mana on the Jinx right here. No abilities either. The burn's going to go through. The poison's ticking down. Max stacks Expunge onto Final Ninja. That's going to be a very good trade going over to TTM Tethys, as no sums are burned on either side, but the recalls are going to have to pop.
Yeah, not only are they going to have to pop, they're going to have to pop in a very unfavorable position. That, or they're going to have to really risk these low health bars. Obviously, Barcode Risk is heading towards this bottom half of the map, so they will have some jungle support. And without Sutek there, they should be okay. But at the same... So yeah, they will be fine. But the slightly advantaged recalls will be going over to the side of TTM Tethys there as a result.
Yeah, the slight advantage in the lane for sure. First round of Grubbins go over to Sutek on the Kane. Drake is up. I believe it is, can't quite see the icon, Hextech first. So that is going to be one taken off of my pool. Cross that one out. As Barcode clearing up minions. It was a little bit dire for a while there, and certainly still down in CS, but we have acquired minions. So this is progress. And I think, honestly, what I found interesting about that scuffle that got around the top Scuttle Crab is that Barcode, despite literally being level 1, or I guess it was level 2 there, was actually doing a ton of damage. Speaking of, is Karma Warrior going to be in danger? Hwei doesn't have a lot of mobility. He's going to get the ulti on to Earl King, but Earl King is going to be picked up by Volter and Sutek. The ulti comes in, the cavalry has arrived, and Earl King will be dethroned once again.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly a fairly decent look, especially considering how this game has gone so far for the side of We Love Solbert. But once again, as you were saying, Shin comes in, the Stand United does drop. Those numbers advantages that Shin will be able to create, especially before 10 minutes. And that example gave just about perfect, which what that makes. Whoa!
Oh no, Barcode Risk walking into Hwei's fear, as now Shen's gonna try and trade something here, but actually Barcode Risk got the fancy footwork with the Ghost, dodging out of the Hwei execute from that lightning bolt there, and just walks away narrowly. Barcode Risk knows. Oh, Solbert is going to take quite a bit of damage from that spray and pray, but no sums burned by either there. On the top side, Night Ravens making the most of the Shen roams and getting 3 plates for themselves on the Gwen. Shen spent a lot of time out of lane, is going to be coming back into lane at quite a disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what you have to, like, take as with that being said.
Yeah, we'll see something here. TP coming in from Night Ravens. The dive is very sloppy right there. Here comes Night Ravens, going fast, going furious. Sutek in a little bit of danger here, not level 6. Needlework not crashing on to Sutek here, but the scissors don't need to land any more than just like that. As Night Ravens will pick up one. Karma Warrior gets Super Mega Death rocketed, but that is the only damage they will take as they walk away there. And Sutek getting killed right there pretty easily by the teleport from Night Ravens.
Yeah, honestly, not something I really what most people expect to see pre 10 minutes is that really effective teleport coming from Night Ravens. I certainly didn't mind it too much that Walter was giving up as much as he did because we are pre-10 minutes, and that I just assumed Night Ravens wouldn't have any sort of angle for that teleport play, but I stand corrected with that. It was set up perfectly for Night Ravens to take 1 kill back. It's not only is all that extra gold from being able to farm freely in the pocket of Night Ravens, he also has 2 kills under his belt as well. So I did say pre-draft that. Oh yeah, hold on.
Sutek taking a little bit of damage, or doing a little bit of damage right there in the mid lane. Earl King getting popped by the ulti from the way, taking a ton of damage there, not able to return fire. Will just dip away with the Rift Walk. Gonna be fine. Here comes the crash from Karma Warrior, but not quite in execute range. That ability likely not super leveled yet, I would imagine, if I remember my way buttons correctly. Epic fail guy could have found an epic fail for themselves, as they have already burned the cleanse. But here are the stuns. Here comes the pain. The shield's gonna come out, and Walter has saved the AD carry's life. But can they get anything else here? Spray and pray is available. They won't go any further. They will accept that as a successful play. Walter using the Stand United to actually save a teammate.
Yeah, so no gold acceleration going to the side of Soulbird, and with as we just saw there in the top lane, all 6 scrubs going over to the side of TTM Tethys, and Sutek going to be able to at least pick up a decent amount of this XP, if not all of it. Overall, not too big of a loss, at least on a team perspective from the side of TTM Tethys. It could have definitely been a lot worse if there were probably 1 or 2 more auto attacks for Soulbird, depending on crits.
Yeah, it certainly was a close one for the Twitch there. You always hate that's when you have low crit, it's like, man, I didn't get lucky enough. But at the end of the day, you gotta just accept that is kind of how it goes sometimes. And I gotta, they use their buttons correctly, and we have a disconnect, but that seems to not have led to a pause. So maybe we're getting a glimpse into the future. We're getting a vision that we're going to be pausing in about 3 minutes. So, set your watches. Speaking of setting your watches, Cassidy level 9 right now. Point at the clock, sweating, as we have the needlework coming out into Walter right here. Snip snapping, not going into the back of the tanky ninja, as he just walks away from that. Does have to burn the ghost, but so does Night Raven. So that's an even trade of summoners by these top laners.
Yeah, and honestly, kind of expected. If I'm being totally honest, as soon as Night Ravens didn't quite get that huge burst of damage that we sometimes see coming out from Gwen. Oh, hold on, that is a very low Cassidon though on Earl.
Yeah, I will say, ooh, we do have the Super Mega Death Rocket going out somewhere, but it's not going to land onto anyone that I saw. Barcode Risk going to get a little bit of damage onto themselves. Kane is still picking up souls right here. This is still base Kane right now. We're waiting to see when Sutek gets that evolution, likely into the Rost, what they are able to do, but it looks like this is just going to be second Drake. This is the Chemtech, so Hextech, Chemtech. Those are my 2 Drakes. It looks like, unless I get the hat trick here, it looks like a Cloud Rift. So that is the Drake prediction going over to you this game.
Huzzah!
And we're back to business as usual. Business as usual has returned. Anyways, back on the Rift. A lot of plates going over to Night Ravens here. Getting a ton of gold off of the Shen, using his ultimate, leaving lane as frequently as he has to. First item completed for the Shen is the MR Sunfire. Don't remember the name of the item off the top of my head.
It's something Radiance.
Oh, it's in some.
I don't remember. It's
infernal,
some kind of
infernal radiance, hollow radiance.
There we go. Thank you,
Wooker.
Wookie Monster.
Thank you, Wookie Monster.
Got her back.
All right, thank you.
I got the radiance part right though.
Yeah, I was thinking of, you know, Cosmic Radiance. That's Taric Ultimate.
Yeah.
And we're going to see some, stolen camp right there from Sutek, but will they get punished for it? They certainly do, as they have to flash, and here goes Barcode, trying to close that one out, but not able to close the gap. Cloud Pockets giving a little bit of move speed to the both of them, but neither are going to go much further. Final Ninja could be in a little bit of danger, but will not take the Twisted Advance from Beyond Godly there.
And rightfully so, if we're being completely honest. If that Twisted Advance did come out, I might have just had an aneurysm and this would become a solo cast. That being said, Sutek again.
Oh, Sutek looking for a fight right here. The ulti's gonna come in from the Shen, but it's not quite gonna be enough. Sutek is gonna bail out of here, but the needlework is gonna pierce through his backside, taking him down, and snipping away at the Shen is Night Ravens, and we have this Gwen. You were trying to figure out how Gwen does into Shen, and the answer, it's not looking, putting him in the pen as it is, locking him up. That was my attempt. I tried.
Alternatively, there is the sin bin as a result for their crimes against top lane.
Okay, we're constructing.
That being said,
Karma
Warrior.
Karma Warrior's likely actually just fine. Thank you, Hui. Hui has everything in his utility belt. As long as he has mana, he's capable of doing everything and nothing. You know, that's what's cool about the champion. Always has the heal and always has the fear in pocket. So, Earl King not going to get the kill there, but forcing him out is at least something. And actually, the Kassadin is now even in CS. Actually, a little up currently, although that will be evened out once Hui gets to this wave here. So despite a little bit of early laning trouble, Kassadin has sort of gotten to the point where he is able to contest in lane and start getting that farm going, and is level 11. Point at the clock, start sweating right here. 5 to go. We'll see if Mr. 16 can become that threat we expect to see. 140 seconds on the next Cloud. It looks like the full 6 Grubbins went over to TTM Tethys, and they also have the Herald, so they have everything they want from the top side of the map, and also the bot side of the map, as they got both Drakes. So neutral objectives very favored towards TTM Tethys, as Night Ravens is going to find Sutek in the jungle, going to be snip-snapping around, but Sutek doing a ton of damage right here, is evolved into Ross, so that's going to be a slash through with the Umbral Trespass. Never mind. 1 for 1, as the jungler and top laner both will be traded there, and the Herald is currently in the pocket of the man who is a corpse. So Sutek not going to be able to get that extra gold into the pocket of Shen or crack that turret up there. But 1 for 1 is certainly not going to... you're going to complain a little bit, but maybe not a whole lot.
I don't think you're really going to complain at all, because that was a 700 gold value killed going over to Kayn on Rost. And so even though, the numbers on the board definitely look fairly even in terms of kills, overall, wait, hold on. Karma Warrior might be in we just have all over the place, actually.
Oh, Beyond Godly's going to throw out the Nature's Grasp. Barcode is going to be tanking up a lot of damage with the Crescent Guard, though. TP is going to be coming in from Night Ravens, but they're going to get taunted immediately, taking quite a bit of damage, but Sutek's not going to be able to finish anything out. Going to get bursted down there. That is just going to be Sutek taken down, and with the jungler out of commission, that is almost certainly going to be this first Cloud Drake going over to the side of We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. We'll see if anybody even thinks about contesting, as Earl King's going to be looking for something right here. Valter is going to be dashing in, not getting the taunt, but is very fast with the Ghost. But the Rift Walk is even faster. Here comes the Execute crashing in, but that is not nearly enough damage yet. As on the bot side, Epic Fail Guy is looking a little worse for wear. Tries to shred that wave, but not nearly fast enough. And Solbert's just going to be able to pick up this one easy. Just needs that. Getting excited, getting out of there. As maybe could be in a bit of danger. Sutek and Maokai are around, but they will not pursue.
Yeah, that was a long list of fights, but going back to the first original fight in the jungle, actually around this part of the jungle that we were looking at right now, I think a large reason why We Love Solbert was able to get such a favorable fight for them is that Epic Fail Guy was just completely zoned out of everything. I can't quite recall by who at this point, but I do remember saying so much so that he wasn't able to get the spray and pray used at all in any effective way. We then saw later that since he wasn't able to use it, did try to use it to clear the wave, kind of debated himself with that, and yeah, that was more of a continuation of that previous fight with the lack of health available to the ADC of TTM Tethys. And so even though all the early neutral objectives had gone their way, that first straight going over and the 3K, slightly over 3K gold difference in the side of We Love Solbert, it's slowly starting to tick back the other way. Not necessarily back the other way, since obviously the gold was largely in We Love Solbert's favor for most of this game, but We Love Solbert, I guess the crux of it is that showing that they are not going to there's not going to just give every single objective for free, as we kind of saw a little bit of in the previous game as well.
Yeah, they certainly had some trouble getting objectives in the previous game at the start of this game, but I think they have kind of an excuse this game, as they are pretty weak in the early game, so they kind of really can't contest. We do have a TP coming in here from Earl King, Rift walking in, trying to get on the Epic Fail Guy, gonna get knocked up, stunned away, but here comes Epic Fail Guy getting blasted down. Solbert is going excited right here, as Beyond Godly is gonna get popped next. Night Raven's gonna snip that one away. Quay gonna throw out some spells, try and stop him, but not a whole lot of damage gonna get pumped out right now, as Solbert getting excited, throwing out some autos, throwing out some rockets. Vaulter over the wall, vaulting over the wall. I guess not vaulting, that's a Talon thing. He dashes through it, but he stays safe. 2 taken down, and a turret going over to We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. And it's looking pretty good for if you're the scaling team, I gotta say. Looking pretty good for you.
Yeah, despite the disastrous level 1, and there's no other way to describe it. I mean, I don't know of any greater superlative. They've definitely managed to slow this game down, and in the meantime, also definitely turned it within their favor. And now, as Earl King sits at level 13, able to pick up all these items, sitting on the Rod of Ages, which is scaling as well, and the Seraph's Embrace getting fully completed. This Cassidy, we're starting to just see just how effective he can be, and with these fights going the way they are, I think we both might once again our predictions on winners of Bakirita have not been on point so far. Assuming that it continues this way.
It's fine. You know, I'm not gonna, until Solbert wins this game along with the rest of the team, I am not going to say that I've cursed anybody, all right? This is still certainly a winnable game for TTM Tethys. They have the tools to make it winnable. They have some good champions, but it's just going to come to a matter of, can Hui get his items? Can Twitch get a good angle? They really need good angles for these fights, especially if you're going to use Twitch and Kane. You really need to just find the kind of fights you want. And Sutek getting caught in the jungle is not a kind of fight I want to see, unless it's going to turn into something here. As here comes the Nature's Grass, going to root up final Ninja, who will have a last stand that is fruitless in the jungle. But Night Ravens is here, standing in the river, going to step forward. Earl King on the flank, looking to get something done onto Epic Fail Guy. Epic Fail Guy gonna force the Rift Walk away, keep Earl King at bay. But the Drake is coming up soon. The Cloud Drake. We'll see.
Before we do get anything, I do have something to pick in quick. Solbert was completely zoned out of that last fight by Epic Fail Guy. It was kind of towards the top of the screen, so it was kind of out of the main focus, but it was absolutely massive. And you were talking about angles on the Switch, and they did absolutely fight it, which is a big reason why they did get that kill, but we do have a Dragon fight coming up now.
Yeah, we do have a fight coming out right here. Crescent Guard is not going to be able to get fired at all. We're going to see first down, but Night Raven Ravens doing a ton of damage with the needlework right here, cutting down the back line, coming down the front line, cutting down everybody in this game as Mr. 16 is jumping over the wall, looking to try and clean this one up. Only Epic Fail guy is left. They get the Cloud Drake, but like this team fight, it is all but air as it goes over to the side of We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition, and they look at this first Baron of the game.
I feel like they probably take this. You have Jinx and only Ideon Godly coming up. So long as they don't, it is easy for your mind to just turn off and take too much damage from the Baron, but I don't believe it should matter at all, as this just gets absolutely shredded, and there it is. The Baron as well at 24 minutes. So, yeah, still overall, really well taken fight by We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition. And they are strongly favored. However, my point was earlier with the Twitch angle, even though as time goes on, this will still very much be largely We Love Solbert's sort of, not necessarily game to, I think at this point you'd say game to lose, now that they have the Baron. But there is still certainly that hidden angle, that Epic Fail guy, that in the fight that in that initial fight that they did get slightly favored their way, they do have a way in. It's not a very easy way in, and it's certainly not guaranteed, but I do think we have a fight here.
We do have an engage right here as Sutek's gonna get rooted up, stunned down. Will get the Umbral Trespass, by a little bit of time for themselves to get any more healing down. Sutek is going to fall. Same with Epic Fail guy, as we now have Valter, who's going to try and get out of here. Beyond Godly is beyond dead right here. A double kill for Earl King. It's now just going to be looking to Rift Walk forward, get the Force Pulse down. In goes Leona. In goes the team, getting excited. And We Love Solbert and Solbert themselves are certainly excited for this game, as they have now wiped the floor of TTM Tethys and are looking to claim the game right here.
I think they might even be able to, so long as they don't watch tower and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's toast. And that is curtains to the arena, better than to the moon, as it seems, as said by a Genius chat member. Snag that one from chat right there. Man, a great game. If you thought for game one was pretty dominant for TTM, game two was certainly pretty dominant for Solbert.
I think the takeaway here is that red side OP.
True. That we'll see that next game.
Obviously, the correct way to go about things is results-based analysis. That is clearly the correct decision to make there. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
For sure.
No, but overall, I think I do like how TTM Tethys did try to go onto their favorite champs, despite the fact that they're not exactly the most meta, and it's one of those things that if you can make a statement win on your favorite champs that are also off meta with a win there, I do like the idea, because then you have people thinking about, okay, well, we then had to ban Kane, right? And it's just one of those things that pretty much ensures that the other team has one less ban on their side. So obviously didn't go Tethys's way. I don't mind it too much though.
Yeah.
In a like a season picture anyway.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, there is certainly that it for a loss, it wasn't a horrendous loss. Obviously they wanted to play something that was a little entertaining, try out some champions that they enjoy playing. And in the end, I will say the Gwen certainly did a lot there for the team. It just totally checked the Shen, exploited that champion's weaknesses. It checked a lot of that front line as well. Was able to create a lot of space and do enough damage to allow Earl King and Jinx to eventually become online and start to finish the game when the Gwen, I wouldn't even say fell off, but more so joining the Gwen in the slaughter of TTM Tethys. So with that said, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will be in game 3 of the series between TTM Tethys and We Love Solbert Mismatch Edition here in week 2 of the Blue Otter League Diamond. Stick around. We'll have the exciting conclusion to the series coming at you after our break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 3 of our series between We Love Solbert Mishmash Edition and To the Moon Tethys here, tied up 1-1 as We Love Solbert have a commanding Game 2, taking down some of those powerful comfort picks that Tethys brought to the table. So we will have to see what these teams do now as they have swapped sides once again per league regulations. Red side so far at 100% win rate, and Becky Rita continuing to be at 0% win rate. So it's looking good. This looking great.
Not quite 0% win rate because you do have the one dragon from.
I do have the one
game
dragon.
one. So
I as long as I can say I left this week with at least one correct prediction. Out of however many predictions I've made so far. But anyways, enough about that. Let's look at the bans here. Going into this game, certainly the Kog'Maw will get banned eventually. The Belvita will get taken down. A lot of similar bans for sure. So we'll see what happens with these teams. And there goes the Maokai. Honestly, probably for the best. We don't need the tree. We don't need him. Let him have a break. He's been working overtime since they buffed him. Not good enough to be banned, but too good to not be picked. He shows up in every game. It's just Maokai. Arbor Day every day. Kog'Maw getting a ban there for sure. As now we just have to figure out what these teams are going to do to adapt here in Game 3.
One thing personally that I would like to see played is Varus. I don't care by who. I just think Varus is pretty good. One of the better ADCs. Not only in like the general world meta or like pro play scene meta or even solo queue meta. It's something that in the notes I've got the secret sauce behind the mirrors you see. I don't know why it's that voice, but no. Varus has take a wild guess what his current win rate is in Blue Otter Diamond.
If I had to, if you're asking me, it's probably something horrendous or incredibly good. So I'm gonna go incredibly good. I'm thinking we're at like 80%.
That is actually really close. It's 87.5%.
All right, that's another win for
me.
It
is 5 for 6. And you know what the funny thing is, Becky Rita? On last week's cast, we saw the only loss that Varus took in week 1.
All right. Well,
as we won't see Varus play now because it's Senna and Kai'Sa. So there goes what I want to see. So
yeah. I mean, we're just picking the most interesting champions this game. To the Moon lost a single game, and they decided that we are not going to engage with the concept of fun, as we are hovering the Seraphine in this game. Definitely a good champion. She has a good ultimate. All of her buttons are good. Like, I mean, come on, she's Seraphine. She's just generically good. So not too surprising to see that come through, especially if you kind of want to pick something a little safer to go with your teammate. I hope it's not support necessarily. I would much rather have Kai'Sa with a more engage or diving support so that she can operate with them personally. But I understand that it is still a flex, so we could see the Seraphine go in a couple of different roles. And now we just have to see what Solbert responds with. The Nautilus is a choice. I know Senna right now is pretty much only feasting. You don't see a lot of fasting Senna, at least in the meta right now, so I guess it works.
Yeah, it's also a pretty common duo, and that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to see Nautilus picked alongside the Kai'Sa. Just so you could also deny that going over to the side of We Love Solbert, regardless of whether it's a flex or not. And just in my mind, I wasn't thinking like, oh, Seraphine flex. It's because even if it is a flex, Kai'Sa's definitely going to need some sort of engaged champion. I really see her struggle without one, and so if this does go support, I don't like it. And the fact that they didn't take Nautilus away from the Senna Nautilus combination, I don't like it. At least in terms of draft right now. Xin Zhao going to be the second pick from We Love Solbert, I guess third pick from We Love Solbert. But going back to a bit of comfort, something we didn't see last time, Volter's getting his own sort of comfort with that Volibear getting selected, assuming that it goes up top lane to Volter.
Yeah, I think right now, Volibear is certainly going to be picked top lane. It's one of those champions where like, yeah, you could play it jungle, but like, why? What does Volibear do that 17 other champions don't do, but better? Like, it's just like you'd rather have him top lane where he's a big dumb idiot stat check onto a lot of the meta picks, I would say. What's not meta are the Kassadin and Garen bans being taken out, Volter getting targeted, and King Earl getting targeted, respectively here. We'll see if another Volter ban gets dropped, or if they're maybe going to consider taking out something from the mid lane, which is still on the table, or maybe they're considering probably don't want to ban any junglers. There's not really anything left worth banning in the jungle, so we'll see what they're thinking, and then what they get for their first pick on round 2.
I'm a little bit surprised by the Garen ban and now Darius ban, because I mean, this just might be my assumption, I guess our assumption, that Volibear is going top lane, so like, why target the top lane again unless you think it will be flex, which I mean, I guess it could. I'm just not fully convinced that into Xin Zhao that even if they do flex it, it'll be very good.
What are you? Why are you picking?
I was going to try to sugarcoat it, but honestly, wouldn't be very good.
No, it's like, why are you picking him when the other champions do what he does, but just better, right? So, it's very, very fascinating. But the Ahri, a very safe blind for mid, getting picked up by TTM. So how will Silbert respond here? Because they're going to have to blind something too.
One thing that I really don't... I mean, Ahri, I think, is usually a really good pick. Like, I'd say 99% of scenarios as a blind mid laner. One thing that I don't like, that being said, hold on, pause the phone on that. Fiora going to be the option for We Love Silbert. And definitely something that I'd say that does fairly decently into Volibear.
I would agree. Volibear, you like picking Fiora into extremely telegraphed CC. What is more telegraphed than the man literally clicking the button and screaming, and then running at you? You just can hit it before he lands his auto attack and you stun him. So, should be pretty Fiora favored, I would imagine, as the Akali will get picked up for King Earl this game. Was piloted very well by Karma Warrior in game 1. Now it's on the other foot. We'll see how they do there into the Ahri, as we either have the jungle or we flex the Volibear out of top lane, which is not impossible, but it is certainly unlikely, as we have...
Oh my god.
It is certainly likely. We have selected Trondamir. All right, color caster, break down. Break down Trondamir. Let me know.
I mean, I guess you would put Volibear not into Fiora. So I guess that's one positive you can take away from it.
What's the other positive?
That's probably the only positive you can take away from it. I don't really, my top lane matchup knowledge isn't great outside of like the super popular ones that you see often in pro play. So I just thinking about it on a technical level, I'd say the early level's probably slightly, if not definitely, Tryndamere favored. So I guess there's that. But in the draft as a whole, if you take a look at both these team comps, it's like, I hope Tethys knows what they're doing, because currently I have no clue what they're doing draft wise.
I will say I also don't know. I can't say exactly what we're thinking here. We haven't considered the possibility this is a Tryndamere jungle, but if it is a Tryndamere jungle, I'm leaving. And I imagine you'll leave too, and it'll be up to Wookiee Monster to have to communicate this game entirely through like cryptic messages on the screen.
On the screen, you'll pull up in OBS the text tool and just write things and pop on the screen.
The title text. It's like the from ProView wonder typing what is going on. It's just gonna be on the screen.
Yes, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
You know, it's but I imagine it's gonna be Tryndamere top. And from what I remember of top lane is that it's going to be very much skill, because Tryndamere doesn't have any buttons that trigger riposte. So Fiora's one of her big trading tools is just non-existent. But at the same time, you're Tryndamere. What are you doing?
You crit. You crit. All right. You land one crit and then you all in.
Like
you take Ghost. You take Ignite. You level 1. You hit that crit. You go in. Get the kill. Win the game. That's how it goes. And honestly, really, that's pretty much the only way I see. At least, like I said, I hope TTM Tethys know something that I don't, which is very possible because my knowledge admittedly probably isn't the greatest, outside of a very just general overview and like trying to visualize it. So I really hope they know something I don't with this composition, because my god, how do you play this?
That's
a rhetorical question. You don't.
Everything comes down to, does Seraphine land the Encore? You know, fortunately Seraphine has the good button, and you don't need any other champions, you just need Encore. Yeah, that's the only button you need. So I will say, with that said, I've got a feeling where how you're feeling about the the prediction for this game. in terms of which comp you think is gonna win here. So it's Tethys, right? It's
Yeah, clearly.
Trondomir.
Yeah, clearly TTM. Yeah, Trondomir. Trondomir's got it in the bag, guys. No, I know TTM Tethys going into this, despite not having played their first week, did somewhat have a just somewhat like community outlook as being one of the stronger teams going into this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if last game was anything to go off of, is that even if Solbert, or I guess we love Solbert as a team, even though perhaps they weren't exactly the most touted coming into the split, and obviously being 0-1, they surely showed that they can at least hang with TTM, and in that case of last game, fairly control that game other than the level 1. I think with that in mind, I'd have to go We Love Solbert just off that, because I don't know how you play this as TTM Tethys. I really don't.
You see, it's because of that that I will agree with you, but only because I want to see if I truly am cursed. If TTM's roster is capable of winning by me predicting, and I will explain why, for the same reasons that you say here, We Love Solbert has just assembled a composition that is real. They've assembled a better composition in a lot of ways. There are certainly some weaknesses that the comp has. It's certainly very AD heavy, so armor itemization is favorable. It's very much, you could say that Fiora doesn't want to play with the rest of the team. Senna doesn't maybe fit with the other champions, but overall, I think that the composition is just, you have a lot of solid champions in the meta right now, and Fiora. So it really does seem like overall, We Love Solbert Mishmash just has the better team in terms of capabilities of winning the game. So I would say genuinely, I do think that they have the better roster. And if I truly am cursed, if I am going to maintain my 0% prediction rate, TTM is going to have to prove me wrong. So with that said, what about Drake's? I lost.
You're first this time.
I'll let you have the cloud. I'll give you the freebie here. And I'm gonna go Infernal, actually.
Okay, well, I go Cloud Ocean then.
All right, I will take Chemtech Hextech.
And that means I get Mountain. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But Becky Rita, anything else you got to add before we send it to a break?
And I think it's time to send it to a break. When we come back, we will have these two fascinating rosters here out on the Rift. Is Tryndamyr's right arm strong enough to carry his team across the finish line? We will have to see once we get back from break, so stick around. We've got an exciting Game 3 coming at you, so enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Game 3 between We Love Solbert, Mishmash Edition, and To the Moon, Tethys. This is Game 3, Week 2, all on the line here for both of these teams. We Love Solbert coming off of a Week 1 loss to the Moon, still waiting for Week 1 to arrive, and now both of these teams are here in Week 2. I guess Week 1, they're waiting for that to arrive. And now in Week 2, we are going to see who will take the victory, whether it is the current favored team in TTM or a kind of underdog in We Love Solbert Mishmash.
You couldn't tell by the drafts, though.
Yeah, the drafts are certainly fascinating. We'll see how it plays out for sure here, but do not check your monitor. This is real. That is Tryndamere. That is Tryndamere. It's him. So we'll see what the Tryndamere does for sure. No Ignite, has Ghost and Flash this game. I know Tryndamere is a funky champion. One of the cool things about I say cool as if anything about Tryndamere is cool. One of the cool things about Tryndamere is that he can actually go like a ton of different summoner spell options. Like, he uses so many of them really effectively. So you have a lot of variety here. Volter has gone for Flash and Ghost this game, so a bit more safety than you typically would expect from Tryndamere. Perhaps looking to, instead of outright winning a fight, instead going to split it. But we'll have to see what the result of that is, as Volter is actually going to be going for a fight here. Does not have the Ignite, as Night Raven's going to be looking to pop some vitals there, but no vital kills are being picked up right now. And I'll let you take a look-see at this.
I did take a look-see at is that we didn't quite see it. Wait, hold on. I always get baited by CC, but actually...
Yeah, CC is coming in on top side as the sun's going to go down. No riposte available. That's going to be Tryndamere spinning into a first blood. 400 gold over for Volter. Let's go. At the beginning.
To be fair, what I did say is that if there's any way that this works for TTM Tethys, it's that if Tryndamere gets a kill level 1, level 2, and then just doesn't look back from there. So they did get step 1 of the plan part correct, right?
Yes.
They did get that part correct. Now, and especially if they do somehow find a dive here, might even see level 2. No, not part 2, not quite completed just yet. But wait, hold on.
All right, we have another hook going in onto Beyond Godly and Epic Fail Guy. The Wind Become Lightning does become nothing in the end, as no dashes will follow up, no kills will be received, and Solbert honestly takes a beating there. Ooh, the double Q nearly claims that kill off the rebound. Beyond Godly looking decent right now. Health bars are certainly at least... Oh, Charm gonna land. It's a lot of damage onto Earl King, but Karma Warrior as well, not looking the most healthy. Very sketchy health bars this game, at least in the lanes right now.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that it kind of sucks when you're casting, because even as the play-by-play, you don't know when to send it back, and as a color caster, it's like, there's going to be a fight any second now, so I don't even know if I want to make any big statements, because everybody's health bar is down nothing. I didn't even get to mention that something in that very first fight, something that I was going to say, I only get now, like 3 minutes later, is that Volter had flashed in that initial exchange between them. So even though it hadn't quite come off to, off in a bad way just yet, and honestly, the way these cooldowns are looking and the positioning of these two junglers, I don't suspect it will. It is certainly something to look out for it, as Sutek's in a bit of an odd spot here.
Yeah, Barcode's going to find Sutek here. We're going to see who has the better damage early on. Shield's going to land on the Sutek, as now Barcode, two flashes exchange, but Sutek's the one in the trenches, going for the wall, but there's no way out. That is just going to be a kill going over to the Fiora, as Night Ravens picks up one.
Yeah, I don't know, just maybe either miscommunicated or misread by Sutek. This is really the only two things I could imagine going on there. And right as the Void Grubs spawn as well, this will surely be all three going over to the side of We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition. So part one of the game plan for Tethys working out, but part two taking a little bit longer though.
Hook landing on IB Ungodly. Will get exhausted onto Soulbert. Gonna have to walk away here as now Sutek is arriving, running in fast, but not nearly fast enough. The root, ooh, great root from the Seraphine, from the, not the Seraphine, from the Senna, going to lock up the members of TTM and stop them in their tracks.
Hey, they both start with S, right?
For sure, for sure.
They're both, well, I mean, I guess Soulbert isn't necessarily playing support, and Senna's definitely more so of the farming Senna in recent days. But they're both supports, you know.
They're both supports that can be carries. All right.
When you're in the client draft in your solo queue games and you click on the support icon, Senna does show up. So
true.
So does Seraphine. Yeah. So you know that. With that angle, it's all right, you know.
Yeah, and don't look at what other champions show up. They certainly aren't going to be weird, all right? It's going to be very normal champions, as always. But what is sort of normal here on the Rift is that we have objectives traded on top and bot side. Hextech first going over to Tethys as the first round of Grubbins getting picked up by We Love Soulbert. So we'll see if Soulbert at least got an objective before 20 minutes this game, so that is a good sign. We'll see what they do with this first round of Grubbins, if they maybe go for the second, or if they go to trade the next Drake, and we have a little bit of a longer time until we get to the Soul fight, the Soul Point objective, as Sutek waiting in the wings down here. Does not have ulti quite yet. Speaking of ultis, we've got two on the top side here. Valter and Night Ravens have theirs up. Valter holding on to theirs as long as possible. Not popping it yet. Being reserved. In the mid lane, we have a bit of a skirmish between the Ahri and the Akali. HP bars getting chunked a little bit there, but no lethal pushes quite yet. Ahri getting quite a bit of damage.
IB Ungodly.
Ooh, IB Ungodly's gonna get hooked up, locked up. Sutek's there though. The root's gonna go through before the stun can land. And Senna saves, potentially, the life of Nautilus there. And here comes the flawless execution in the mid lane. Back to Earl King, back to this fight. Two flashes being traded out, but Earl King takes a shot in the backside from the inner turret, or the outer turret. Apparently had scope lens right there. Maximum range coming out from that guy, sniping Earl King, and leading this exchange to being still pretty even, as actually Earl King didn't flash. There was just some funky movement, I guess, from the Akali.
I mean, if I had to describe Akali in 2 words, funky movement, I don't know if those would be my first choices, but they would certainly be up there on the list of 2 words to describe Akali, especially with the perfect execution. I'm assuming, yeah, it was used. It's one of those abilities that sometimes when the second part isn't used at all, it's like, was it used? Was it just second cast of E, or? But understandable confusion there. Honestly, I wasn't too sure myself until I was able to look back at the cooldowns used. But as you were saying, Earl King not using the flash in that exchange will certainly give him an advantage in these upcoming few moments, especially with a lot of fairly easy CC that is able to come through on the side of We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition.
Yeah, it's going to be good to have that in pocket, especially as Ahri, gives you a bit more mobility to deal with her shenanigans, because she is certainly a mobile champion. Once she gets the Malignance especially, she will just be dip dodging and diving as often as possible. In the top side here, we have a lot of people arriving. I believe it's 4v4 currently, 4v5 actually. Senna is the only player who is not around. This Scuttle is going to be the first target on the board here. 34 HP will get picked up by Sutek, but Sutek's going to get picked up by Earl King. Meanwhile, Valter is going to have to spin away. Popping, doesn't quite pop the Undying Rage, holds it still. Very reserved on Valter there. Very smart from the Tryndamere, understanding those limits. But right now, it's looking like the second round of Grubbins is going to go over, unless we have a hook right here. The Encore is going to land on two, and two pretty important members as well. Volter is going to be on the backside, going to be raging and looking to get into the fight, but is going to have to walk away at fairly low HP. Karma Warrior dashing around, trying to land a charm. Ooh, not quite enough damage landing on the Solbert right there from the Foxfire, as the HP bars are low, but only one kill gets dropped. But the second round of Grubbins is split two ways.
I think it is split two ways, but I think the biggest thing there is that you don't give 6 over. That being said, Volter, no ults available.
Yeah, Volter, no ult. It's just going to be another dash, but Seraphine is here. No Encore there. We'll see if Night Ravens is going to consider fighting this. The Sutek is actually around. This could be a dive angle here, but there is no ulti from Sutek either, so they're just going to have to play it smart. Night Ravens does probably have the riposte, waiting for the opportunity. Will trade for Volter there. Volter stepping up a little bit too far and getting clapped for it, but the kill does go to somebody, goes to Volibear.
Yeah, and really, when you have such low health bars like that on Night Ravens and 3 enemy team members around, I really think that's honestly the best it could have done in that situation. Trade 1 for 1. So honestly, fairly well played by Night Ravens, making that really as even as possible as it was, and with that sort of knowledge that three members of TTM Tethys are on top side, and that does free up the rest of the team to start regaining vision in and around this Dragon Pit, with the second Drake coming up being that Cloud Drake.
Yes, the second Drake, we do have a hook coming in onto Beyond Godly. The knockup, the depth charge, it's going to charge into Beyond Godly as well. Going to be forced away there. Sutek's going to be arriving, speeding in, but once again, not nearly fast enough to catch Solbert. And final Ninja is now in towards the mid lane. We have the Akali and the Xin Zhao just sort of hanging around. 4v4 on the bot side. No TP on Fiora here, so it's just going to be the 4v4. Root's getting locked down as the Spirit Rush will get popped right now. Here comes the Encore. It's landing onto 3 right there as the crash down from the Volibear is going to do quite a bit of damage, but the first kill is actually going to be going over to the side of Solbert right there, as now Akali picks up a second. Karma Warrior is going to try and get something out there, but Earl King is going to stay alive. HP bars are, again, so critically low, but not nearly enough damage to end either any of these important members.
Epic Fail Guy does still have his ultimate, though. He does have the killer instinct. If he finds... Okay, well...
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
I was going to try to build it up. Finds one Void Seeker is a W?
Yes.
Yeah, one Void Seeker, and with how low those health bars were, past tense, that theoretically, in an alternate world where he does land one of those Void Seekers with the Killer Instinct available, could definitely have popped off there. But just as soon as I was going to point that out, situation just nullified, and
yeah, the situation
we don't get any sort of fun, apparently.
Yeah, and the only fun we do get is the Ocean Drake this game. If you enjoy rapid healing, we have that on the menu, and of course on the scoreboard for the Drake predictions, as you are
2-1 again.
2-1
2 weeks in a row. Let's go.
Wow. Man, does that mean I get Moose's record? The one time Moose doesn't do well with these? This is unbelievable.
To be fair, I did take down Moose last week as well. So
yeah, so you know,
and I've been lucky. We've been lucky enough that both these Diamond stream matches have gone to 3 games. So we have been able to get a definitive winner. So that's one of the things that I always get worried by. I was worried by that last week and this week, is that we'd only get 2 games and a tied 1-1 Drake score, and that would be very, very just like anticlimactic and unfulfilling this way. That being said, in the mid lane,
Earl King looking for something, gonna be trying to get some damage down onto Karma Warrior, as Karma Warrior walks away, landing that charm. Earl King 3-0 on the Akali right now. Very dangerous, although kind of still on the Build-A-Bear. What gold is in pocket? I'm curious on the Akali here. Not a lot. Yeah, we are just buying components. Okay. very interesting choice. I mean, these are good components. I'm not going to say they aren't good components, but I do like completed items.
Yeah, wow, really? You mean the more expensive things in League of Legends typically do more overall, typically?
Only sometimes.
Yeah, I only like 90% of the time with a handful of exceptions, but
yeah. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Oh,
I was gonna talk about Static Shift, but I think Static Shift's good right now, so I'm not gonna say that that's a waste of money. Maybe it's good.
That being said, we do have the Encore dropping.
Yeah, Encore dropping onto Final Ninja and Soulbird. Both of them are just going to get chopped down here. So TP will come in from Karma Warrior just to make sure that the nail is put in this coffin, as that is 2 kills going over to Kaisa. And that is a great person to get those kills onto.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You did say Encore being the button. I'm not so sure how necessary that teleport was from Karma Warrior. I honestly think I would have rather seen it saved. I don't know if their involvement in that fight really changed the outcome, because I believe it was a stun landed onto Final Ninja before the charm did. I'm not quite sure from where.
I think they had enough people. It probably would have been Volibear stun. Would have been the only person to have a stun, unless it was a Seraphine route.
Well, it might have been. It was a lack of movement CC. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, player could not right-click away. So yeah. Something prevented them from moving. So maybe Karma Warrior wasn't needed. But you know what I always say is better safe than sorry. Getting a kill is better than not getting a kill, even if theoretically you could have gotten more out of it. So.
I think less so it comes from securing kill, and more the fact that they won't have teleport and Earl King will for a potential next fight, especially with Ocean Drake coming up in a few seconds here. You remember, you see these ultimates drop, but I do tell you, Becky Rita, I don't think either of these matter, considering that both ours just kind of negate each other in this matchup.
Yes, the grand challenge, Fiora clicks it, and then Trindamir's like, yeah, take it. What are you gonna do? Yeah. I'm gonna click
kill me. What are you gonna do? Kill me?
What are you gonna do? Stab me? Man who is stabbed 4 times in 4 vitals. We have the Herald crashing into the mid lane right there, as Seraphine is throwing out several spells. Walter on the top side taking down the first outer turret. Tryndamere, this is what he does, is he kills turrets. So we'll see if he can get more of those turrets down as the game continues. But right now, we're kind of just hovering around the ocean. Beyond Godly could be caught out once again right here, as Seraphine's going to flash away. Here comes the Encore landing on a 2, but it's not going to be enough, as Earl King is going to clean that one up. Here comes the charm. Here comes the damage. But the flawless execution is going to be flawless right here, as another one goes on to the Akali. Sutek trying to dash away, getting the shield, going to get some damage onto Earl King, but back into the Shroud. There is no threat of death. But there is no threat of death for Tryndamere either, as he is raging, he's mad, he's angry, but he is dead as a doornail. Another kill going over to We Love Soulbert, and that is 3-4-0. And a Drake in pocket.
Yeah, and that is a very massive fight. I mean, obviously, it's early enough to where I don't think any fight is decisive. However, with Night Ravens continuing to push in this top lane fairly freely, and Volter not really getting anything out of that for himself in that fight, and the Drake and an extra turret, and if you take a look at the minions in the mid lane, maybe even 2 extra turrets, perhaps. No guarantees on that, but soonish. The point being is that they get so much out of that fight, and when you're the side of TTM Tethys, really the only 2 ways they win anything is if wait, hold on.
You have an engage, a little fight coming right here is once again.
Wow.
Akali moment. Akali gaming. Yeah, this is a 6-0 Akali right here. This is looking like a set. We're getting a salute to set 11 here for, I guess, maybe set 10, set 11, whatever the current one is. Remix Rumble. Salute to the KDA Akali nuking backlines, as Ari going down once again to Earl King.
actually it's a true damager calling that Earl King selected skin-wise. But point aside, that's also technically one of the TFT sets, so I'll let it pass. What was I on about? But yeah, with the win conditions from the side of TTM Tethys, even though that extra kill going on to Earl King, it really doesn't change my point that Volter, it's either Volter getting so far ahead that he can't be dealt with, don't think that's happening at this point in this game, or so really the only way I see TTM Tethys finding any sort of way to win a fight is a really good encore, and that's just about it. Honestly, at this point.
Yeah, and fortunately, Encore is the kind of button where you do get very good Encores very frequently. It's not like it's a hard ability to land. So we've also seen some good ones this game too, so it's not like it's unlikely. And the Kaisa is looking very strong. Tryndamere still has his split push threat that is technically real, so we'll see if that comes to fruition in this game. But we have a little bit of time before our next objective. 3 minutes on the Drake. Purple Worm is up, but neither team really looking at it right now is Earl King on the hunt, on the prowl for Karma Warrior once again, trying to really showcase the power of the Akali champion. You know, looking at game one saying, you know, you did pretty well. Now, check this out.
What I say about check this out, actually you're talking about Kaisa earlier, something that I've noticed, it's looking like other than the Mana Moon, being actually largely AP Kaisa going to be the selection, is the Luden's Companion going to be the item pickup by Epic Fail Guy, and as, you know, the itemization, an Amp Tome and just a standard pair of boots. I don't know quite how to feel about that, especially as the Lucidity boots come through.
I know that there is like a mathematically perfect Kaisa build that LS has been hyping up, but I've not actually seen what that build is. I don't know if it's like a joke or if it's real, but maybe this is it. I don't play enough Kaisa to know what the build even looks like, but this is certainly funky. But hey, honestly, the team could work.
Yeah, I don't hate it, especially with like the general makeup of the what is that? What the alleged composition that TTM Tethys has. If Volibear is able to run in, you find the right stun from the Encore. I think you go AP, and not only that, you could find with the Hail of Blades. Gosh. Words are difficult. You find one Void Seeker, Hail of Blades, you pop passive there. And not to mention the extra marks that you get from the CC, you might even be able to get 2 full passive marks going off on the side of TTM Tethys for Epic Fail Guy. So I don't immediately hate it, but it is a bit funky, for sure.
Yeah. We'll have to see if it really pays off, though. There is still plenty of game left to be played. Unfortunately for me, as I'm feeling a little woozy, so I'm hoping that we get, you know, maybe one of these teams can close out sometime within the next 20 minutes. As the Ocean Drake is up in 25 seconds, so that is going to be the next target for both of these teams. Vision right now looking pretty solid for TTM, but now we have a little bit of an opportunity for Final Ninja to go in, clear some of that out, get some wards down for themselves, but maybe Karma Warriors found something. Charm gonna lead into honestly not a whole lot of damage right now. Ari still doesn't have the Lich Bane, and that's one of the big power spikes for this Malignance build, is when you get to weave in all those auto attacks.
Oh wait, hold on.
Wait, you know, there's a sneak going on, so sneaky I didn't see it, as Night Ravens once again discovering a suspicious Baron attempt from TTM.
It's suspicious, but there's nobody nearby, and they do have the ways to get out.
Yeah, and they are going to get out. Earl King is going to try and get something on the backside here, but will it be a waste of time? Here comes the hook into Volter, but it is just the Tryndamere. He's going to get mad. He's going to waste their time. He's going to take somebody down off the back end, too, but Earl King's looking on the front side. Or Earl King's not on the front side. We're going to have on the front side Night Ravens, who's going to try and get something here as well. will go down to Karma Warrior, as now we have the Baron successfully heisted away from Solbert and friends.
Yeah, successfully heisted and a little bit on the back end of that. So, you know, unexpected, but I mean, I guess at this point, for TTM Tethys, you gotta try something that's completely unexpected, and well, I mean, clearly it worked because they're walking away with with 4 Barons for themselves, and that will free up Drake here as well, so not going to be able to go to Soul Point, going to be able to delay that a little bit longer for them to, you know, maybe find the angles that they need. I still don't exactly like their oh wait, hold on, teleport's
we have a
committed,
TP coming in from Night Ravens right here. Ocean Drake will get picked up. Sutek over the wall. The rest of the team is going to be looking to get out here. Sutek might be left on their lonesome, though. They're going to try and speed out, but that is enough players. We do have the Baron Empowered Recall. We've got the shield down. Are they going to be able to pop it? They are. That is going to be Sutek traded for the second Drake. But on the top side of the map, Trinimir's moving, but he's not near an objective quite yet. Solbert should be able to reset in time to stop Trinimir from getting something, but any opportunity Trinimir gets with this Baron buff to start hitting towers, those towers are going to be melted.
Yeah, especially with how big these waves are. I suspect that he won't actually get this one. I never said it.
It's fine. It's fine.
So
it's fine.
I never said it, so I don't have to stand corrected. You can't prove that's what I was going to say, that he was going to take the tower. No, of course not. Why would I say so? Why would I say such a thing that clearly wasn't true?
Yeah, you don't stand corrected, but I am standing. So, we'll have to see. You know, Trinimir gets another shot at one of these turrets if he has another opportunity during this Baron buff window, which is closing pretty quickly, actually. They're going to run out of this time here as Earl King's looking to try and take a Baron off the board themselves with their own hands. Flawless execution, not quite flawless enough as the Shuriken goes wide, and Karma Warrior walks away.
Creative ultimates that are both very low cooldown. A bit inconsequential, if we're being completely honest. Even if I find that kill, I don't know how much gold Karma Warrior would be worth, especially on this Akali being as fed as she is, but we get excitement. And speaking of excitement, ultimates.
Grand Challenge has been issued. It's going to be popped right here. Or is it? Yes, it will. Trinimir's going to have to pop ulti. Is he going to be able to fight back with enough time? But no, he does not have enough damage. He does not have enough healing. Fiora is going to be on the hunt right now, but has no ghost. Valter is just going to be able to walk away from this one, but did certainly lose that exchange, and that does not bode well for the split push.
No, it doesn't, but the same idea of earlier that when one ultimate's used, the other one is, and nothing happens in terms of kills. That's exactly what transpired there. So I wasn't hoping for it. Honestly, we got a lot more than I even suspected would come through, but we get to the mid lane now. This continuous push, not a lot of members here. Well, as I say that, of course, everybody moves down. You know, it just happens like that sometimes, Becky Rita.
It does. Sometimes you say things are going to happen, and then nothing actually happens. That's the life. That's the life we live. Anyways, yeah, looking at the Rift right now, we've got 2 minutes till the next Drake. Minute 30 on Baron. So these teams are pretty close in gold despite everything. Only about 2,000 separating the two of them. So it's pretty even. We could have a fight going right here. Sutek's going to get a stun down onto Final Ninja. But the root is once again going to stop these. These roots from Solbert have been great this game at locking these players down and peeling away. So another potential engage dissuaded by solid CC.
Yeah, and really that's all you can really ask for. However, I'm not sure if you caught this because I didn't myself either initially. Solbert no longer has flash, and that cooldown looks as if it was probably used in that quote-unquote fight. Did you catch that? I didn't see it.
Getting jumped there. I'm guessing what happened was maybe they tried to flash to delay Volibear getting range there. Maybe they're trying to just buy themselves some space. I can't really say exactly what the idea was. I didn't quite catch the flash going out, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a bit of an odd one, but also a really large one because, you know, Senna not exactly having that much CC. And, well, I think there's a lot of, not CC, a lot of mobility for herself. And really, speaking of CC, you have this Nair, sure, but I think that without that flash, you pretty much have to be completely glued to the side of Final Ninja, at least until that flash comes back up. So maybe it's a slightly limited area of movement for the side of We Love Soulbert in terms of potential fights or shenanigans we get, especially as this Baron comes back up. Won't be sniffed this time around, though.
Not a sneak quite yet. They do have vision. Night Ravens is aware. They do not lack critical information. They do have the critical information, as the Baron will be stopped. The Dragon is still up, but neither team is going to really want to commit that much to the Drake, because you start Drake, you lose Baron for sure. So we'll see if TTM Tethys, they've fused together. They're actually the same team now. They're working together for your entertainment audience.
Yeah, it's actually like professional wrestling. This is all scripted.
Yeah,
wait,
well,
was
actually,
I supposed to say that? Oh shoot.
No, this is real. The Draft League is scripted. Anyways, Earl King is on the backside looking to try and get onto Epic Fail Guy. Gonna have to pop these Zanyas as here comes the Encore, but it's not landing onto anybody important. Valter's on the back line looking to try and finish off Earl King. Gets the auto, but it's gonna get gets the shutdown, but is gonna get shut down themselves. Here comes the double kill from Barcode, as that is going to be a 2-for-1, and the Drake going over to Soulbert.
Yeah, at the very least, it is a very massive shutdown that TTM Tethys did manage to pick up. But with that, and as they're heading to Baron, I feel surely they collect this. So with Baron getting picked up by We Love Soulbert as well, it really just... I feel it's just more of a continuation of what we've seen. Is how in the world do TTM Tethys really fight this out? I mean, they've shown, honestly, with what they do have available, or I guess the lack of anything they have available team composition wise, they've done fairly well. That was actually surprisingly close from Karma Warrior.
It
was surprisingly close.
It hit 700 before Smite dropped. It was fine. It was fine. I do want to emphasize surprisingly, though. It wasn't is the big part of that. But with Baron getting picked up now for the side of We Love Soulbert Mishmash Edition, other than some sort of miracle angle where I Beyond Godly picks his namesake and hits all 5 in an encore, I don't know. It's looking tough for TTM Tethys. It's looking like if TTM Tethys can't close this out, I will get my first correct prediction of the week. And that will certainly inflate my ego ever so slightly. So it is up to Valter and Epic Fail Guy to prevent that from happening. But we'll see if that's even a possibility, as the Crypt Bloom was purchased by Kaisa. I don't know if this is the mathematically perfect Kaisa build. Somebody, please God, help. This doesn't seem real. This seems fake, but I'm gonna trust that it's real. But as the turrets get sieged here.
In terms of the AP Kaisa potential coming through, I know it's not really played a huge part in these fights, but I've seen a few times where 2 Void Seekers do land onto Soulbert. It basically chunks all of his health, so I think if you actually hold on, Earl King's gonna get locked up, maybe a bit too full of themselves here, as they are looking to get out of here. Flawless execution is not available, and they will be flawlessly executed themselves. Dunked on by Volibear. So, you know, you would rather that go over to Ari perhaps, but a shutdown is a shutdown regardless of who gets it. Kills. Now it's a 4v5, so
This is good news. It buys a little bit of space for TTM Tethys to get back out on the map and at least sort of push some of these waves back, prevent their inhibitor turrets from getting cracked. They're doing a good job of stopping the siege, so it's solid work from them. We'll just have to see if they can keep the effort up.
I mean, they do have that, but Soulbert's just collecting more. Well, they're not called souls, but screw it. We'll say Senna Soul.
Yeah, they're Senna Souls.
They're souls. They're souls. I mean, if Thresh can have souls and like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that one.
She's grabbing the ghoulies. She's grabbing them by the ghoulies. You know, like the rare game on the Xbox. Well, that was a terrible joke.
I just realized for a second that by the rare game you probably meant the game developers and not one that's hard to find.
I mean, it is probably both. I don't think anybody actually.
No, because I initially is like I hadn't heard of Ghoulies, but that being said,
Grab by the Ghoulies is a game. Anyways, don't worry, we're moving back to League of Legends. Sutek is walking forward here. As the waves get cleared, Seraphine is certainly proficient at doing that, if nothing else. Setting them up for Kaisa to clear them out. And Kaisa, this is a poke build, so we're going to see what she can do. As we have Barcode going in, we have Final Ninja and Soulbird as well, just trying to get some damage out, but it's not a whole lot into Sutek, who is quite tanky this game, has built a lot of armor, where I was talking in Champ Select about how AD heavy this Soulbird team is. So we'll see if that amounts to anything, as we have the Crescent Guard getting popped right now, but a root is going to land onto Beyond Godly, as that's just going to be going into the back line as the Akali. She's going to go golden. She's going to try and get a kill right here. Flawless Execution will land, but she is in a lot of danger as the Killer Instinct is popped to get the Akali down. Raid boss removed. So now it's just a matter of dismantling the other 4 members in this 4v4. If they lose this Drake, it is going to be Soul down. So Sutek's going to be in the front line. It's going to get locked down onto Final Ninja, but it's not. Oh, it's going to be a lot of damage, actually, as Kaisa is actually doing a ton here. Tryndamere on the front side, chopping through. Xin Zhao, no Crescent Guard available, and now the Fiora goes down as well. It seems that Soulbird's team is gone, and that is a 4 for 1, and the Drake going over to TTM Tethys.
These cooldown timers are pretty long. I feel like it might be a bit premature to say that they end this, but I honestly, if you're the side of TTM Tethys, I think you're going to have such a hard way getting back into this game, and you have Volter, his ultimate's nearly back up. Honestly,
they get the inhib.
I think you might. I would have maybe liked to see them try to force the issue a bit more, especially with only 3 members.
I think that the respawn timers are coming up a little too quickly, and yeah, it's gonna be an angle back into the game for TTM Tethys. You thought they were out. They're just coming right back in, and I think we saw in that fight how much damage Kaisa was able to do with those Void Seekers and getting that Killer Instinct to finish them off as well. A hugely effective poke game, and honestly, I also want to say that Volibear has kind of become pretty unkillable at this point in the game. There isn't really a whole lot to shred him aside from Fiora exactly, so he's looking pretty tanky, and dare I say that maybe Tethys has got something in the tank.
Yeah, they definitely have shown they have angles. But I feel like a lot of them then largely resulted in mostly misplays by Legal of Soulberg. I mean, the fact that they were even able to contest that Drake and get the fight was because Earl King was taken down before it started. That being said, speaking of forcing the issue.
Yeah, forcing the issue. Earl King's going to TP in. The HP bars are low already. Volter's going to take one down. Going to be going on the backside, trying to just chop away Soulbert and Will. That's 2 taken down by Tryndamere before he falls. That is a great trade to make. But Epic Fail Guy's going to be low. Never mind. Epic Fail Guy's going to be just far enough away. Waiting for that Void Seeker to come back up.
No
now.
way. No way they do it. I don't believe this. I don't believe it.
No
No way. No way. This isn't.
There. So, I will
I
say,
think you.
this is what the TTM comps wants to do, right? You know, they've got Kaisa, they got the damage there, they got the Encores, and the overly AD comp and kind of mismatched champions from Solbert are being punished here. Sure, Tryndamere looks weird, but Tryndamere is not the only champion on the team. There are 5 other players, and they are all crashing into this Nexus. And my 0% prediction rate maintains 0.
I don't
TTM Tethys claimed the series with an exciting win off of the back of a very fascinating composition.
They had 2 fights, literally. They had 2 fights this whole game.
Yeah, that's all they needed.
And that's all they needed.
When you're just god gamers, that's all you need.
Like, I don't. What did I watch? The first, to be fair, that first fight that they did get, where they were at the Drake, that was pretty much reliant on Earl King getting caught way far out. That did give them a lot of gold and did start to like return their economy to be back level, which it actually surprisingly never fell too far behind in terms of economy, which I guess we didn't mention because. Like before this game, I mean, what is that composition, right? It doesn't matter if the gold in our heads. I might just be projecting onto you, but at the very least in my head, it was like, well, gold's fairly close despite how dominant We Love Solbert was that entire game. But does it really matter that it's close? Because when you look at TTM Tethys' comp, yeah, wow. What?
Yeah, you know, I'm the bias caster, but man, it sounds like somebody's hating on the players who just won the game or something. What's going on here?
Okay, let's get it. Let's get it clear. They did win those fights.
They won?
Did
Hello?
Yeah, they won. They found the angles, which I would have never thought that they would be able to, not necessarily because they're bad players, but because, I mean, look at that draft, Becky Rita, like for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
It's fantastic. Tryndamere did what he needed to do. What's going on?
I mean, yeah, it just kind of what needed. I don't know. It was just kind of strange, but like I said, 2 fights is all they needed, and well, to be fair, they found the 2 fights at critical moments, and well, when you find the fights at the right time, then the death timers are as long as they are. I guess it doesn't matter how the rest of the game goes or what your composition is. If you find it, you find it, and fair play. Because honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think that speaks more volumes to how well the players of TTM Tethys has played, considering how little they had going for them overall in a slightly even economy at that point.
Yeah.
That given their frankly awful composition and their lack of a way in onto anything, that they were able to find those fights. Just personally.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly something that, the poke Kaisa coming out there is exactly what they needed to, at least lower those champions and get them an opportunity. So with that said, I will say tonight, that is going to be the end of our games. Another great series. Both teams played very well, but man, very exciting games. I really enjoyed being here tonight. Thank you to all those who are out, gaming tonight. Thank you to you, Isaac, for your cutting analysis and outdoing biased Becky on the cast here.
No, that's all right.
Is the biased caster according to Twitch chat.
Everybody, don't let people calling you be biased seem like a bad thing. See, the reality is, Becky Rita, everybody is biased in some way. And if you try to ignore and be perfectly unbiased, you're just lying to yourself.
I'm aware. I'm joking. Anyways, so I've been Becky Rita. That's been Isaac. He's been Isaac. We've been having a great night, and I hope you have a great night as well, the rest of your evening. And of course, thanks to Wookie Monster as well for clicking the buttons and helping us deliver this content to you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the stream for whatever stream is next for BOL. So make sure you click that follow button, smash that like button, subscribe, join the Discord, and stay tuned in for our next exciting game. So have a great evening, and we'll see you later.
the fire